Never have I been so excited to get a whiff of sweaty jock straps. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Yay, football, the fan. It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
So where's the office back at Division? The in office, baby. Going up.
All right, bouncing our way into the weekend. Rothman and Ice. Adam King, sport jacket wearing Adam King in studio today. Good to see you, my man.
I like that. That's quite the intro. Yeah.
What, you've never listened to the show?
No, never heard it.
I've been using that intro for about 8 years.
Never heard it.
On Friday.
No, it just
Thanks
gets
for
me.
listening.
You guys are on what channel?
Exactly. What time you guys on? I think Tom asked me that one time, probably purposely. Like, hey, you need me today? You want to? Now, what time you guys?
Phenomenal.
Yes, noon to 3. Been that way for a while, my man.
Hey,
all right.
That's okay. People ask what time we're on 10 TV. 11 o'clock at night.
Still 6
See
and
you
11?
there. Still 6 and 11.
It's hard to knock off those network shows.
Yeah,
sometimes, push it up a little bit. All right.
Nora is not a fan.
It's good to have you.
Hey,
it's good to have you back.
It's always great to be
You were
here.
in the Pacific Northwest.
I was.
Faber College. You were back to school. How did that feel? Listen, I went there years ago. A buddy of mine he was working as a sports anchor there in Eugene. Was it maybe KEZI or what? I can't remember the call letters, but he was there and I went for the wedding, but it was not during football season. So I never really got to see a game there. And I don't think I even went by the stadium. I think I was more interested in going up the coast and seeing the Sea Lions, but it was a treat. So you've been to a lot of campuses, a lot of stadiums. Where did that rank for you?
Number 1.
Come on. Really?
Number 1. It was remarkable. 60,000 fans. And so that's all we heard all week was that there's only 60,000 fans here.
Well, there's 54,000 seats, I think, right? And then
they had
pack them tight.
Yeah. And I think they counted the people outside that were just yelling to try to get in. I don't know. But you know what they do really well there is it's a show.
Play football?
They play football.
Yeah.
No, it's a show in between the breaks. Like a lot of times they say, hey, look up at the Jumbotron. Like at Ohio Stadium or at school, schools are like, oh, and we're going to pick which one the cup's under. No, everything there is call and response. Everything there is you've got to be locked in. They've got some song, I Got My Heart Left in Georgia or Oregon, and it got me. Like certainly not My Heart Left in Georgia. It's I don't know. They just
San Francisco.
It's. I left my heart in Oregon,
all right,
and I decided I don't know who I need to talk to, but we need one for Columbus. It's a song by Matt Kearney. It's like a country song that they play, and they all sing, and everybody cries, and they hug their brother. They're all drunk. They don't know, and they say, "I love you so much, man." And then they play the second quarter of football. And then the fourth quarter, man, they do that shout thing, and they do it really well.
That shout thing, yeah. It's from an old movie, sir, Animal House.
Well, yes, but they
Otis
do.
Day and the Nights,
Yeah.
Dexter Lake Club.
Yeah, Animal House. What is that?
That's right.
Is that a zoo movie?
A little
is
bit.
That? Did they take you through a zoo?
A little. You should have gone to visit Dean Wormer while you were there. Maybe he would have told you what it was.
So there was a tour you could do for Animal House.
I know,
and I saw a little bit of it.
There's nothing you can see.
Yeah,
they
have a plaque for. Yeah, they have a plaque for it though. But it was I give them a lot of credit. They delivered. It was loud. It's the loudest I have ever heard a college football stadium, and that's saying something. And I think it's because it's so compact and everything's right there. But on the play,
there's a mountain there too, right? It should seal in the sound.
Yeah, there's a mountain right there, which we need to get one of those too on Olentangy.
People would complain about the Wi-Fi. Hey, forget this mountain. I can't get my Wi-Fi.
Exactly. I can't send anything.
Yeah. But you think it mattered at the end, even though Ohio State was driving? You think the crowd impacted that?
Will Howard, that final play, my ears hurt. I've always thought earplugs at a football game is an odd take. I mean, you're there, go for it. I could see why someone would want earplugs in that moment. It was loud. And I think there's a reason they had so many false starts. with that said, I am glad that I heard Ross's interview with 97.1 on the Buckeye show.
It's on at 6 o'clock.
It was on at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. It airs every night.
And I thought he was pretty good talking about, I think he took some lessons there, and I think that's what you have to do as an athletic director is take some lessons from every stadium you go to and try to make your atmosphere the best. And I think we might see that coming very soon to the shoe.
Listen, Ohio State certainly has leveled up in the atmosphere that they've had. It's a fine line because I've been here a long time, and I know you know the history. And when I came to town, I felt like this is not a school that needs fake mascots, and it doesn't need human mascots. It doesn't need that kind of stuff. But I will admit to you, and this is ironic, because when I went to the Oregon game a few years ago here and sat in the stands, I felt like the fans were too little too late when it came to trying to rescue that game or help their team rescue that game. And there is a certain feeling that the fan involvement here is completely solicited, and that it's when they feel they need to cheer, they will. They'll certainly cheer their team when they come out and all that. And there's a little bit of third down stuff. But you're right. When you have a team this good and a tradition this good, sometimes it's a cause and effect. The team does something to make you cheer for them, not reverse. And maybe the Oregon fans felt that this game was such a long time coming, and then maybe more importantly, they absolutely needed them. Like we've heard Ryan Day, appeal to the crowd in the weeks leading up to a Michigan game or the week leading up, and like, we're going to need you, come loud, come strong, and they do. And I'm not going to try to tell you that I know the science of whether that affected it on Saturday night, but you were there, you were knee deep in it, so you're giving it the its due, because there were a lot of people that felt like it didn't. I remember I was tweeting after the game and everything, and certainly emotions are raw and they're fresh, and it's everybody can walk home and fire everybody and all that. But some of it was that the atmosphere, don't put it on the atmosphere. That was not even, and I'm like, were you there? You don't know
that. So I 100% that atmosphere had an impact. And that's and I think it's interesting because I think that's one of the reasons that I maybe didn't, criticize as much as other people, because I think when you realize what they were walking into, it was insane. I mean, it was, and I applaud the Oregon fans for what they did there.
Here's the difference, Adam. I don't want to get so over the top that somehow this was the little Ohio State Buckeyes going into this hostile environment. It was something that they can't handle.
No, but I will argue this, and I don't know if this is the time to get on my soapbox for 20 seconds. Ohio State went on the road to the number 3 team, now number 2 team, in one of the loudest environments I've ever heard, and lost by 1 point after dropping the ball in their own 20-yard line, having a kick kicked at them, dropping the ball on a 3rd down, playing abysmal defense that they'll attest to, and they lost by 1 point.
That's all true, and I'm with you on that. That's a measured take. But what happens is it comes off as Ohio State, and you've heard me say this before, this isn't more MVU, Moral Victory University. It's not, and it never will be, and it never should be.
100%.
But you're right when you think about it, because I came in here on Monday, and Monday's the wrong day to probably say that stuff. But if you want to be measured and you have a 3-hour radio show to do, certainly you're going to try to balance out your opinion on it. You're right. It's one of those things where I said on Monday, every loss that Ohio State endures somehow is created equally. It doesn't matter who you lose to. It's an L, and it's treated the same.
Yeah.
Losing to Oregon on the road by a point is not even in the same universe as what Bama did with Vandy.
No, exactly.
It's not. I mean,
That's
Vandy
exactly
may be okay, but
100%.
It's not in that universe. And we've seen teams.
And fans have reacted like it's in that universe. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, no, it's. And the reason it is, and I believe this is the reason, it's that this being on the wrong side of big games is starting to become a trend, And so what happens is that they don't look at it. No one looks at it as, oh, well, it was close. Oh, they were good. Let's give that other team credit. No, it's what happens is why are they always on just the wrong side? And they're worried and there's concern because the ultimate goal is reality of winning a national title. And so I'm with you. I feel like there's no reason to make this some definitive statement about the program. However, I do feel like that being critical or criticizing coaching, situations, scheme, players is all on board. And it's been on board now more than it ever has.
Yeah.
You know why? Because now a lot of them are getting paid more than what you and I will ever save in a lifetime.
Whoa.
So maybe I should speak for myself.
You speak for yourself. All right, I
So
get half that, Ryan.
What I'm telling you is that's why, and this is where we are. But you agree that it was a heck of a game. And if they get into field goal range and Fielding makes a kick, then all of a sudden we're treating this other stuff as, okay, we don't have to really look at that right now. Yeah, they'll shore that up. But now it just feels worse. That's
I
all.
think I would be on this radio show. I don't know if Matty Ice would be off today. I think he's taking the day because of the loss. So I guess maybe I would be on.
Very hard.
Yeah. I would be on this radio show saying Ohio State played horrible and beat Oregon somehow on the road. Because I guess what I have a big problem with, I don't think anybody is arguing that the secondary doesn't have issues, and they've got to get those figured out in a hurry. Denzel Burke, you want to be one of the best corners in the country. That is not what that looks like, and he knows that.
Well, they had issues against very, very good players, which they hadn't faced yet this
100%.
year.
The defensive line has got to figure it out in a hurry. Jack Sawyer and JT. Jack was projected as a first-round pick all of the offseason. You can't have 0 sacks. With all of that said, it's not only the 0 sacks.
I was going to say
the pressures.
The results of the sack I'm not going to get crazy about, but they seem to bull rush and that's it. They don't have a secondary act to go to or a swim move or something, but I realized they were trying to contain Gabriel as well. But you're right. It's putting the defense in a weird spot when they can't get home or a blitz is picked up. Or
the secondary is left on an island when Gabriel's got all day to throw.
And to your point, I think Jim Knowles started to get very comfortable in that he could leave his guys on an island.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right.
Yeah.
With all of that said, with everything said, the thing that I had the biggest problem with is these statistics about Ryan Day and top 5 and this. Ohio State, the last 2 years, has had the ball with a chance to win the national championship pretty much, to beat the team that went on to win the national title, and they lost both times. They are trying to figure out how to get over the top. This is not that kind of loss. They will be just fine.
It's not. It just feeds into what you just said.
Exactly. But I get frustrated because everything is still in front of this team.
No, that's absolutely right.
All right, I'm off my soapbox.
No, that's okay.
We have to play the commercials now.
That's what this really...
I'm sorry. I had
by
to get
the way,
that
by
off my
definition,
chest.
this is a soapbox.
Oh, okay.
So you're allowed to use it that way.
Okay.
All right. Well, Brady Quinn, bottom of the hour. He'll be in B-Town, Big Ten, Big Noon kickoff, Bloomington, Indiana, Nebraska.
They said Beantown.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I don't know why.
Is that Boston?
That's, yes. The musical fruit.
Do you like baked beans?
I used to like baked beans a lot. I still do. In fact,
I was going to say, why did you say
I just don't think I get them unless I'm at some cookout. I don't buy them for myself. I just feel like they have to be served to me.
Right, after the break, we're going to find out why he doesn't like baked beans anymore.
Brady Quinn, bottom of the hour, up next. Yes, let's talk about those Jackets. Nice win last night. Should we adjust any expectations? Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
There's a shocking new government report about the border crisis Sherrod Brown created. According to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, almost 500,000 convicted criminals have entered our country illegally, including nearly 30,000 found guilty of murder and sexual assault, including rape in their home countries. Now they are spread out across America because of Sherrod Brown's policies. But Sherrod Brown says,
I don't hear a lot about immigration from voters.
That's because Sherrod Brown doesn't listen to voters anymore. And while our safety is being jeopardized, Sherrod Brown is making sure illegals get taxpayer-funded benefits, like health care for illegals who get amnesty, Social Security, even COVID relief checks, all paid for by you. 31 years in Washington has changed Sherrod Brown. He's not for us anymore. He's way too liberal for Ohio. American Crossroads paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AmericanCrossroads.org.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Your weekend freebie is free Kroger brand 12-pack seltzer water. Simply clip your digital coupon and spend $50 or more Saturday or Sunday. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
This is Bob Capace, owner of Worthington Jewelers. Our fall bridal buy one, get one half off sale is ending this weekend. Select the perfect ring from thousands of styles or create a one-of-a-kind ring of your dreams. Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
There's a shocking new government report about the border crisis Sherrod Brown created. According to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, almost 500,000 convicted criminals have entered our country illegally, including nearly 30,000 found guilty of murder and sexual assault, including rape in their home countries. Now they are spread out across America because of Sherrod Brown's policies. But Sherrod Brown says,
I don't hear a lot about immigration from voters.
That's because Sherrod Brown doesn't listen to voters anymore. And while our safety is being jeopardized, Sherrod Brown is making sure illegals get taxpayer-funded benefits, like health care for illegals who get amnesty, Social Security, even COVID relief checks, all paid for by you. 31 years in Washington has changed Sherrod Brown. He's not for us anymore. He's way too liberal for Ohio. American Crossroads paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AmericanCrossroads.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, sunny with a high of 69. Tonight, clear and chilly, low 42. Sunny tomorrow, high 71. Sunny on Sunday with a high of 74. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Matty was a big Browns fan. Scratch that, we mean he's a big fan of the former Browns. Oh, yeah? The Baltimore Ravens. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, little update here on Ohio State. Going into their bye week, Quinshon Judkins had a little minor procedure. Doesn't seem like much when you use the word minor. That's always good news. Did you get any more information on this?
No, I just saw it in the break. It
was on his hand, I think?
Yeah.
All right, so he'd been dealing with this for a little while. Did he, okay, so let's give them credit, 24/7 Sports also. Had he been dealing with this? Did you sense anything during the game?
So here's such a hilarious part of what is college football nowadays. On Thursday, when I was out in Eugene, I read online two things. That the Oregon star defensive end that was out for the game was hurt.
Birch.
Yeah, that Birch was hurt. That Jordan Birch was hurt. And then he wasn't going to play. And then I heard that Quinshot Judkins had an injury to his hand. And I texted a couple people. And this was like a random message board that was like screenshotted and put on Twitter.
But you said this was right. You said this was before the game?
This was Thursday.
On Thursday, okay.
And so I texted a couple people, and they're like, he'll be okay. I don't know.
He did play.
Yes.
He had 11 carries.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then Saturday morning, the Birch stuff breaks. And then we see Quinshon run out of the tunnel, and he's got a little wrap on his hand. Little thing on his. And so, first of all, these message board warriors, they throw enough at the wall, some of it starts to stick.
So you have a newfound appreciation for the message boards.
But it was wild. I'm like, who are these people? How do they get this information? So that I think probably goes hand in hand. No pun intended. But
all right.
I mean, if he played last game, I think he'll be just fine. It helps that it comes at the bye week.
Perfect.
I did send out a text after his fumble that said, I mean, if your hands.
Well, that's a very good point.
I sent that right after.
Ripped away.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, if your hand's hurting, it's probably hard to keep that pressure that you normally maintain. Because he's not one to fumble.
Yeah. When I was watching, it looked like a very good play by the defensive lineman. Like he just caught him at the right moment, at the right angle, and was able to get both paws on that thing and rip it away. And it wasn't even that.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I know that for a fact. That's why. I just thought in the moment.
Makes sense now, though.
Yeah. I mean, if you, with anything, if you don't have that strength as you normally would.
Yeah. All right, Jackets get a nice win last night. Listen, everybody I think this is exceeding some people's expectations, mine included. It's a competitive start. I had somebody ask me the other day, hey, are the Jackets good? And I stopped for a second, and I was like, boy, that's a really good question. Are the Jackets good? Well, I guess what's your definition of good? And I said back to my friend, I said, they're competitive. I'm not immediately adjusting my 72-point hockey team to 88. I'm not doing that. But what I see out of this team, early on last night, it was great. And the fact that you got guys working below the line and creating a power play goal and putting some traffic in front of a young goalie, that's what you're supposed to do. When Silly works below the line and then goes back into the crease, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. And listen, they scored in the final 30 seconds when they're picking off an exit pass out of a zone, and Marchie spots it and dots it up. But they gave up another one, late in a period, which is, a stupid old trend that they've tried to break. But I do like the fact that they're throwing things on net and there are guys around it to clean it up. And that's the cool part, is they're taking chances. And that rush from, I think it was Silly leading it with Corrali there and Olivier scoring to make it 4-2. That was as pristine of a rush as I've seen in a long time from them. They're scoring goals. They're giving up some. We knew that was going to happen. Terry was in the net last night, and not all of them were on him. Certainly, there was a wicked deflection that was not on him, the one that made it 3-2. That was not his fault. But I'll tell you what, when they were up 5-3 and they were pressing again and great pressure and you get a turnover, they were not going to sit back on a 5-3 lead and try to nurse that thing home. They came out very early in the third period and got a goal that put Buffalo, on it again, on defense again. So I really like what I'm seeing. Severson scored his first of the year, fresh off Hockey and Hounds. So that's not a coincidence. But I will say this, Kent Johnson leaving, what looked like a shoulder, is not good, according to the head coach.
Just a freak thing, right? Taken out, again, by our own players, just freakishly falls. And, we'll see how he is tomorrow. But as I said with Goody, it didn't look good. But, we'll get the evaluation tomorrow.
That's horrible news. It's an upper body injury of some kind, whether it's a shoulder or not, who knows? Like he said, we'll see. But it was early in the second, and JVR's coming back. He was tripped up, and KJ ends up kind of slamming into him and sliding across the ice, and he was holding his left hand, as he skated off. So I really don't know what it is, but I'll tell you that's not the guy you want to lose now. You don't lose anybody. They're already down, and so this is a trend they don't want to get into. But I will say this team is playing with an attitude and a kind of like they're freed up a little bit. I don't know whether it's the lack of expectations or their own feeling of that they can go now and take some chances, but they'll host Minnesota on Saturday night. They'll host Toronto on Tuesday. They've got a couple chances there to get it done. And Cole, I'll let you jump in. Don't we have a beautiful 971 giveaway coming up?
Yes, we do. We are giving away 2 Jackets tickets. We got to come up with some sort of trivia question. I remember the last time that I was on the show, we did one of these things. I forget what we were giving away, but we did. You had like a word that you were teaching Matty Ice. You were expanding his lingo a little bit, and so we did a call back to that a couple hours after the fact. We got to come up with something.
I remember what the word was. It was lascivious.
I actually was listening when you went through that segment, so that's hilarious. Because I remember thinking, what in the heck does the word lascivious mean?
I have yet to use it since then, but we'll come up with something. And
save it.
I know what it's going to be. I've got it in my head.
We can do that probably 1 o'clock hour.
All right.
We can give that away.
I think we should do it at 2:58.
Why don't we give Why don't we give an exact time on when you'd like to do that? Why don't you just tell me when you'd like to give the tickets away? And that way we can make it a pointed listening, and nobody has to be like in some sort of a window.
No, we want them to, between 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock, we're going to give these tickets away. So make sure you're by your radio, crank it up.
All right, here, how about this?
Yeah.
We'll do it at the end of Under Pressure. So the 120 segment, we'll do it about leading into 1:30.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. We'll come up with a question.
You know who's going to be under pressure?
Yeah.
The listeners.
That's right.
That's exactly right. All right. We're going to come back. Brady Quinn, big noon kickoff, Indiana, Nebraska. We'll get his take on that. And certainly he was very confident about Ohio State going to Eugene. We'll see how he feels now. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Bobby Carpenter doesn't have a mullet, but he's knee-deep in mullet energy. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. The Fan and High Bank Distillery have partnered to release 3 exclusive whiskey barrel picks, which you can try out with me on Tuesday, November 12th at High Bank in Grandview. Tickets benefit the Third and Goal Foundation, helping veterans and their families.
Busy schedule? This is Ryan Krieger, and Krieger Ford has you covered. Krieger Ford offers pickup and delivery, or our mobile service van will come right to you. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today only at KriegerFord.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Ohio Basement Authority comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at ohiobasementauthority.com/row.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Guess what? Our ugly faces are on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan and watch all your favorite shows. Laptop, phone, tablet, smart TV, we're everywhere. Bring us in the bedroom with you. Yes, The Fan.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Get your game room game day ready with Billiards Plus. Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, and games the whole family will enjoy. Now's the time to get your name on a pool table before the holiday rush. Plus, top-of-the-line grills still in stock. Shop Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and have you back on the road before you can count all the change in your center console. Cha-ching, baby! Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change. Appointments now available at participating locations.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Dorn, what's that guy yelling about on my noisemaker?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Your climate hero, you fossil?
What's a climate hero?
That's Dormar, our same-day heating and AC company we've used for 60 years.
Who?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Come on, Dad, you laugh every time you hear their tidy-whitey commercials.
Yep, those are funnier.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
True Work is the most technical workwear in the world, delivering modern solutions to timeless job site challenges. Innovation meets tradition in True Work's high-performance lineup of work pants, shirts, and jackets, all engineered to give you the comfort and protection you need, especially in the most extreme conditions. Check out the full lineup with over 50,000 five-star reviews at truework.com and use the code SPORTS15 to get 15% off your first order. That's TRUEWERK.com. True Work helps you be your best when the weather's at its worst.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
College football picks with Rothman and Ice.
All right, here's what we're going to do. BQ is still in a production meeting. So we're going to slide him to either 103 or 133. I'll let you know. So we do want to get his take on this weekend in college football. The problem is we won't get his knowledge before we actually make our picks. So we're going to move the college football picks to now.
I'm ready.
So you're out there all alone without any assistance. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yep.
Give me Iguodala.
Oh, sorry. All right.
A lot of pressure is on you, Adam King.
Through the nose, out the mouth, breathe.
Because you have to avenge Matty Ice, who went 2-4 last week.
Boy, that's about par for the course for Matty Ice, though, isn't that? That's 2 more than he normally gets, right?
Now he's at 19-17.
Okay. Still above 500. He's better than me.
I don't have a drum and cymbal. Otherwise, I would give it to you right now.
All right.
I have one. Do you want me to hit my snare drum over here? Yeah. I don't know.
3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1.
Somebody took my snare drum away.
There, I did it.
AR, you were also above 500, 18-17. So you know what?
Wow.
Not bad.
4-2. I had LSU in Death Valley.
If you had bet $100 throughout all this, you'd be up $100.
All right.
I do this for pride, not money, sir.
Oh.
Hey, we got a Big
I do this
10
for money.
Oh, my goodness. Are we ready now?
Yes.
All right. Big Ten matchup tonight. Oregon, they got to go to the tall grass at Ross-Ade. All right. Minus 29.5 at Purdue tonight.
I am not going to get into this too much because it may or may not be my under pressure, but give me the Boilermakers.
The Ducks, my goodness. What a spot for a letdown.
So the show ends at 3 o'clock.
We got plenty of time. I'm working my way into it. This is a classic letdown, right?
This is my under pressure.
Short week. That's all right. You can still do it. Short week, emotional win, flying from Eugene to West Lafayette for a Friday night game against, what are they, 1-5?
Yeah.
Do I ride with Adam and take the 29.5?
29.
Boy, it is a place where weird things happen. They've upset Ohio State there when no one expected it.
It's like a Waffle House at 3 in the morning. Weird things happen.
The only difference is there's not much for the Ducks to do in West Lafayette but to play football. Not like...
You don't think they're going out clubbing?
I don't think so.
Maybe to the bars?
Yes.
Barnes and Noble?
To the local Burger King. All right. I'll ride with you. I'll take the 29.5 head start tonight.
He's in.
I like it. All right. This is the fun one. This is Big Noon Kickoff. We'll talk to Brady about this one a little bit. Nebraska at Indiana, the Hoosiers, and Kurt Cignetti, who's got the best Pittsburgh accent you will ever hear in your life. 6.5-point favorites.
They haven't had this hot of a start in more than 50 years. They've earned now Big Noon Kickoff. They haven't even trailed in a game this year at 6-0. And Kurt Cignetti, Coach Sig, smoke him if you got him. You don't know who I am, I win. Google me.
Google me.
This is the number 2 scoring offense behind the Bobcat transfer, who I love, Curtis O'Rourke. They're 4th in the country in yards per game. They're 2nd in points. They win this one, and they'll have a legit sight set on 9-0, or Michigan comes to B-Town. There's one big elephant in the room. Who have they played? FIU, WIU, Charlotte. I mean, their 3 Big Ten wins are UCLA, Maryland, and Northwestern. They're combined 1-9. And by the way, the Wildcats took them to the fourth quarter down 3 in a stadium with 2,500 people. I think Nebraska's defense is decent, and I think this will be a good test for Indiana. I'm going to mental hedge this out. I'm going to take the 6.5 with Nebraska. IU wins, but I'm taking the 6.5.
You know, when you look at this game,
show's over at 3.
So, give me the Hoosiers. I think the 6.5 is perfect there. I think they are that good. I know their best win is against a Maryland team that just went and laid an egg against Northwestern, but I do think at home, if this game was at Nebraska, I'm taking Nebraska money line. But because this game is at Indiana, they have the hype, they have Big Noon, they have Brady Quinn, they have Urban Meyer. I don't know. I could name all the people on Big Noon.
I'll be there.
They have Anthony Rothman. Right. I think that they go out there and I think they put on a show. But I will say, I think the hype train, the Cinderella story, if you will soon be coming to a close for Indiana. I think it's a great story.
You just picked them to win, and now you're talking about them losing? What's going on?
I'm saying the wheels are going to fall off the tracks, but not this weekend. That's what I'm saying.
Wow, that's a backhanded compliment.
Well, listen, Coach Sig, I'll Google you.
And at the end of the year, you said, I think they're real good, or they're real.
Yes, but okay, let me give you the schedule. They got at Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State. Yeah. I think, and versus Washington, I think they lose 2 of those games.
All right.
And then they've got versus Purdue. I mean, that game, under pressure.
That'll be Bloomington. All right, please move on. We must press forward.
Adam King, who plays on the 3rd Saturday of October every year?
Who plays on the 3rd Saturday of October every year? Alabama and Tennessee.
That's right. Alabama's going to travel to Neyland.
I looked at the sheet of paper.
3-point favorites on the road, the Crimson Tide.
What are we doing? On the road, they can't even win at home convincingly against South Carolina. The last time they went on the road, they lost to Vanderbilt. They're still looking for the goalpost in the lake. Listen, Tennessee is going to keep Alabama from lighting up cigars. They're going to win this game outright. And Alabama, before we reach the month of November, is going to have 2 losses.
Yeah, losers in big trouble.
Yeah, which is absolutely wild to say. 2 losses. Tennessee is not that good either. Give me the Vols. And the Rocket Top.
All right, you're going to take the 3.
Tennessee.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, Jalen Milrow's throwing picks now since they've... And Tennessee, though, since lighting up teams, they've fizzled. They do have Dylan Sampson. He's leading the SEC in rushing. Everybody gets up for Bama, so I'm having trouble picking this one. Tennessee, boy, this offense, I'm looking at their stats. They've been held without a touchdown in 7 of the past 10 quarters of reg. That's not good. I'll tell you what. Boy, Bama's been trouble. I'm going to do it. I'm taking Bama.
Oh.
I'm laying the 3.
What a coward.
I just think they're better. Wow. And that young quarterback's come back to earth.
And we even had Rocky Top playing in the background of your pick.
We must move forward.
All right, 3 more games and 40 seconds on this music bed. Michigan -4 at Illinois.
Michigan -4 at Illinois. Give me the Illini money line. How'd I do? There you go. You're up.
Illini home dogs. Listen, they haven't beaten Michigan in,
Have you seen those jerseys?
Years?
They look phenomenal. They'll win because of them.
I think Mullins, Edwards, Orgy, whoever they're going to run will probably be okay.
Hey, if you could watch, we don't talk
like
about
the
that
fact
kind of
that
stuff.
Michigan's 0-3 against the spread as favorites. That's no good. And Illinois has covered all 3 games as dogs this season. All right, I'll ride with you on that.
Sir, we've only got 40 seconds on the bed.
I'm taking Illinois in the 4 at home.
All right, Georgia and Texas is the big one. It's 1 versus 5. Texas is going to be 5-point favorites at home, and this is how long Adam King talked about Indiana.
Rusty Quinn, yours. You can't prove that, Rusty. All right, we'll make this quick. I think 5's too much for a Bulldog team that I think is still very good. I do worry about their pass defense against Texas in this one, but this is, to me, who knows? I'd rather have the 5.
Oregon was pretty good.
You can always reboot the music.
Yeah, well, now it's just sad.
Start
it's
it and kind of
or you
slide
could
it back
sing
in.
it for us. Goodness gracious.
And we're out here with no band.
Oregon, Ohio State, and Texas are the 3 best teams in the country. Everybody else is chasing that. With that, Texas covers. Okay. With that, Georgia and Alabama, both 2 losses before November.
All right, give us a final one.
And maybe sing the bed.
Iowa -6 at Michigan State.
What a terrible one to finish on.
Something on Rocky Top.
I don't know. Michigan State's coming off a bye. They may be ready, right?
Give me the Hawkeyes. I mean, what are we doing?
Laying 6 with the Hawkeyes.
Laying 6?
Yeah. 6. I'm sorry, 5.5. Okay, that is the most annoying sound I think I've ever heard.
Michigan State.
Go back to singing Rocky Top.
My goodness.
It's just that simple.
It is. It's as simple as annoying. All right, I'm going to take Sparty at home. Aiden, don't call me Jackie Childs.
I don't think he's ever going to let me in this segment again.
Lascivious, salacious, outrageous.
Lascivious.
I'm taking Childs and Michigan State in the 5.5, I guess. I thought I was going to
Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Right. I'm going to kick you out of the studio at some point.
At some point?
Maybe top of the hour.
That's great.
It might happen.
Hey.
It might happen. We'll see.
It's good
Tim
radio.
Hall's on standby.
Over-unders. Was that supposed to make me more comfortable? Over-unders. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Thank you for calling Great Lakes. Great Lakes Kia.
Do you like scary movies?
Nah, they don't scare me.
What does scare you?
High car payments. They make me want to scream.
And at Great Lakes Kia?
We have brand new Kias under $5 a day. Come pick one out.
Maybe I'm already here.
Cool. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorrento LX. All 3 under $5 a day.
That's only $139 a month for 24 months.
Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX under $8 a day.
$249 for 24 months.
At Great Lakes Kia.
What if I have scary credit?
No problem. Get approved with 0% financing.
Perfect. And I'm right behind you.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus, GreatLakesKia.com.
Can I hang up now?
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
Just how liberal could Sherrod Brown be? What are his actual votes?
Well, he backed bills to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports and let transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms.
Very liberal.
Brown supported allowing children to receive puberty blockers and even sex change surgery.
Super liberal.
And worse, Brown even voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions, a procedure where the baby is partially delivered alive. That's right. Brown's votes for partial birth abortion are in the congressional record. And Sherrod Brown voted to allow this terrible procedure not once, not twice, but 6 different times over 8 years.
That's radical liberal.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's just way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Shop low prices and great deals all week long at Meijer. Buy 5 or more and save $5 or more on hundreds of items across the store, like General Mills cereal, Swanson broth, and 12 packs of Coca-Cola or Pepsi products. Plus, shop our huge selection of Halloween items for spooky good savings. Get 25% off Halloween costumes and buy 2, get 1 free Halloween snack or jumbo-sized candy. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tended to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior one-coat hide color collection.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
On October 21st, 2006, Michigan State found themselves down 38-3 with less than 10 minutes to go in the third quarter, and they made that initial deficit like it never even happened, scoring 38 straight points to win 41-38.
Incomplete. The ball game is over. The Michigan State Spartans in one of the greatest comebacks in Michigan State football history.
ServPro, like it never even happened. The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice presents Overs and Unders.
All right, Cole. What's the scoreboard read here?
The scoreboard reads that you were way better than Matty Ice last week. You put together a 5-1 performance.
Wow.
Ice, I think, does that back-to-back segments? Ice was 2-4 last week.
Hey, quit banging on the Ice Man.
That's
he's
why
off this week.
That's not why he's here. That's why he's not here.
He's enjoying himself.
Where is he?
I don't know. I don't ask.
You don't ask?
Why?
The gym.
Yeah, the gym, cooking eggs.
What if he's in, like, Zimbabwe? Don't you want to know about his trip to Zimbabwe? Or
he probably went to see his wonderful parents, maybe.
What if he went to...
very family.
Thailand?
He's a very family-oriented kid.
Okay.
I think he went to see his family.
Okay. Well, you should ask
I
more
don't want to
about
invade his privacy.
It's not invading his privacy. What if he comes in every day? He's like, I want to tell Rothman where I went.
If he wants to tell me where he's
and then
going, I'll be happy to.
Like, he won't ask. He never asks. Rothman almost kicked me out last segment. Now
It's
he's really
coming.
I'm excited.
It's coming. Listen to the bell. It tolls for thee.
Here we go. How many runs will the Dodgers score in Game 5 of the NLCS tonight? They got a 3-1 lead in Citi Field. Over under 4.5, and I will give you a little clue here. They've scored 8 or more runs in 4 of their last 6 games.
I like that you said
but I think
clue.
I think David Peterson's pitching, and I think he's pretty good. 4.5. Boy, I see this thing going. I think the over-under on the game would probably be something like 7.5. I'm going to actually take the under.
Wow.
Just on the Dodgers alone.
Yeah.
This isn't on the game.
No, yeah.
Correct.
It's hard after last night to not just think the series ends today and the Dodgers just head out swinging. I think I'm taking the over in this one.
The Dodgers. All righty. How many
Vin Scully. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Vin Scully. He's a famous actor.
That's right.
How many home runs will
Vin
be hit?
Diesel.
Oh,
you're thinking of.
I tell you what, Cole is going to kick us both out of the studio.
I swear to God, I'm sure. This is my time to shine, damn it.
Sorry, Cole.
How many home runs will be hit in Game 4 of the ALCS tonight? There were 5 hit between the Guardians and the Yankees last night. There were 2 in Game 2 and 3 in Game 1. I'm putting the over-under at 2.5.
Under. And it's after all the magic last night, everything tightens up. Everybody gets a little nervous. I think it's under. I think this game is under 7.5. I think it's a low-scoring ball game.
Boy, I wish I had J. Lou's advice on this. I'm little hint. I'm probably putting Gavin Williams in the pressure cooker here coming up.
Oh, shh, don't tell
because he could be. My
putting
goodness.
the whole Guardians in the pressure cooker.
No, I think I'm just putting him in.
Just
you can
him?
put J-Ram in too, maybe some others, but you can't put anybody truly in there from before because of what they did last night. I'll take the under on 2.5 in one game. Well, look who plays for these two teams.
I understand, but,
I'm taking the under with you.
Okay.
Here's my slightly clever way of asking a very basic question. How many points will LSU win by this weekend? Which is another way of saying the spread is 2.5. It's a weird spread. LSU, a 2.5-point favorite on the road against unranked Arkansas.
How many will they win by? 0. Upset alert. Ring the bell. The Hogs do it again. Do you have it? He looks like he's getting a bell.
I don't have a bell.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm just thinking about this game.
Cole over here.
I'll give you a random one.
There it is. I saw him. He immediately went to work.
Awesome.
Yeah, the Hogs get it done. Upset alert. At home. They already showed it once. They show it again. So my answer is a big old zilch.
Well, LSU's coming off an emotional victory. Overtime, Death Valley. You're right. Classic letdown. But I did have Kevin Mawai on yesterday for Gold Jacket Thursdays. The former LSU Tiger who never had a winning season in all his years that he played there and still made it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In honor of my conversation with now my good friend Kevin Mawai, I'm going to take LSU.
You're supposed to pick how many points they win by.
I said over 2.5.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Well, it's an over-under.
I was still hearing the horn in my ear.
They're not supposed to give a specific number on an over-under. He said over-under 2.5. So I'm going to say LSU wins by
That's my victory horn from here on out.
How many ranked teams are going to lose this weekend in college football? I can guarantee you 3.
Market guaranteed?
Because we have 3 ranked versus ranked matchups. The over-under, 6.5 total.
So I got Miami losing at Louisville. I got at LSU, that's 5.
Do you really? Nice.
And then this is not good radio.
You don't have to name them.
I'll take under 6.5. I think seems like a lot.
You're already at 5, and you barely got out of the top 10.
Okay.
I'm slightly deaf in my right ear. Speak a little louder.
Kansas State at West Virginia is a good game. I'm locking it in under 6.5. That's a lot. I'm taking exactly.
Yeah, but
5.
But what he said, 3 are guaranteed.
Yeah, and then LSU and Miami.
Guaranteed.
That's it. Nobody else loses.
I'm taking the under with him because.
But you didn't make any loud noises in your ear.
We would need 4 more.
Yeah, there's not. Don't use my horn for him. He doesn't deserve my horn.
Not your horn.
Fine, I'll give him a different random one.
Listen, let's keep this show PG.
Little Jack Horner. By the way, if nothing spelled bi-week show more than this today, I don't know what.
Well, it's just me reading the schedule. And then after that, Nebraska, Indiana, and Auburn, Missouri.
Oh, yeah, I took the under with you.
There you go. How many points will be scored between the Bengals and the Browns playing each other? It's 41.5.
Under.
Is that Vegas's over-under or yours?
Vegas.
Okay.
Or every other state that now has legalized sports betting.
Well, I just wanted to decide where you got the number from.
No, that's a real one. I didn't make that up.
Where are you going?
I'm going under. The Browns can't score 20 points.
Bengals offense has been on fire. I mean, could this be like a 31-13 game?
Wow.
I'm just saying.
But the Bengals can't win at the Browns.
Yeah. I'm going to take the under. I think the Browns, their defense bows up a little bit this week. Chubb's coming back. We'll talk to Jeff Lloyd at 2:33. I'll kick you out for that, too. And I'll take the under with you.
Sounds good.
Let's round it out here. How many passing yards will Jordan Love and C.J. Stroud combine for? They're playing each other in Green Bay. 507.5. And I give you a little detail here. Love's over-under is 248.5. Stroud's is 258.5.
Give me that number again.
507.5.
507.5.
I think they throw for exactly 507, and Cole looks silly for picking that number. I think it's under. That's a lot of yardage.
Individually, it's not.
If you look at the two guys playing, but
because you added up their two over-unders, is that how you got it?
Yes.
Okay.
And so, that got me to 507, so I just added half a point.
Oh. Well, see, I think it's going to be exactly 507.
Half a yard, to be specific.
Who gave you the power to just add half a yard?
It's going to be nice. Probably.
Colin, by taking vacation.
I'm going to go over. Shootout.
All right.
Listen, one guy could throw for 320. The other guy could, as long as I get over 507.
Listen, one guy could throw for 100. The other guy could throw for 200. Yeah. That's 300.
All right.
I know math. I've been here.
All right. Guess what? An hour's enough. I need a little timeout.
All right. I understand.
Exit stage left, and I'll call my friend Jensen Lewis because I want to find out if that team is not ready to go gently into that good night. And I'm talking about the guards. What a game. We'll relive it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100 and be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Atlas Butler is built to keep you comfortable, and our plumbing services are no exception. You can rely on Atlas Butler for trusted, convenient plumbing and drain service. Our expert plumbers and drain specialists can take care of anything, from a broken water heater to a clogged drain. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Gambling too much? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, problem gambling counselor at Mary Heben, where we offer in-person, virtual, and group options. We're here for you no matter what, and that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Go to MaryHeben.com today.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Quality, transparency, integrity, craftsmanship, and consistency. Those are the words that seem lost by many in the construction industry, but not on Newman Roofing. Because when your name is on it, it just means more. NewmanRoofing.com.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Cole Bartimas. So many sports, so little time. Let's get to it, and let's start with hockey. The Blue Jackets picked up their second victory of the season last night. They dealt the Sabres a 6-4 loss. However, Kent Johnson did lead the game with what is described as an upper body injury. The Jackets host the Minnesota Wild tomorrow evening. Baseball last night, the Guardians picked up their first win of the ALCS in dramatic fashion. Big Christmas tied the game in the bottom of the ninth with a 2-run blast, and then David Fry offered a repeat performance in the 10th to end it. Yankees lead that series 2-1. Game 4 is tonight, Gavin Williams versus Luis Heel. In college football, the Buckeyes are off this week, but many eyes will look down south to watch Texas and Georgia, as well as Bama and Tennessee. And in the NFL this weekend, 1 o'clock on Sunday, the Bengals will head up to Lake Erie to have it out with the Browns. That one can be heard right here on The Fan. This update is brought to you by Dormar Heating and Air Conditioning. Need an emergency repair? Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarheating.com.
Are you working? Because we barely are. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football and quiet quitting. The Fan. Crowd the plate at your own risk. It's time for some chin music with former big leaguer and president of the Bald is Beautiful fan club, Jensen Lewis.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
Swung on, hit high, hit deep to left. There she goes. And left by David Fry. And the magical 2024 season is not done by any means.
Tom Hamilton, you're giving me chills again, my man. And it's just been an incredible time to be a Guardians fan and to watch them scratch and claw and do the most unlikely of things last night was something special. All right, let's do a little chin music with my man, Jensen Lewis. He's with us now on the Bryan Heating Coin Systems bullpen phone line. J-Lou, I don't know what you want to talk about first because there's so much there. I guess I would put it to you this way. When you see Class A, the class of MLB closers this year, and the power that the Yankees can put on display, and Judge's game-tying 2-run homer followed by Stanton's go-ahead shot. At that point, the psychology of the Guardians in your mind, and you've been in dugouts, you've been in bullpens, how do you think they were feeling at that point? How are you feeling?
I felt it was like the dagger, and you just can't imagine the emotional pendulum swinging from, the idea of bringing in Class A to have, and by the way, that whole inning starts to collapse with the 2-out 4-pitch walk to Juan Soto, and for me, that if I was Hunter Gaddis and I had it all over to do again, I'd throw 3 pitches right down the middle. I don't care if you hit them out. It's 1 run, and I still have the advantage. So for Judge to hit the tire, and you tip your cap because it's 99 cutter on the outside corner, and the only other guy that can probably hit that is Shohei Ohtani. So that's why you pay him the money to do that in that spot. But the Stanton one, again, you have flashbacks of the backup slider that Kerry Carpenter hit for the 3-run homer to win Game 2 in the division series. And then you see that one rear its ugly head, and Stanton does what he's been doing his entire October career. So at that point, yeah, I felt that was it. I felt that was the dagger. And then you just have a moment like Lane Thomas. And really, I think people get this lost in the shuffle. He's down 0-2. They're down to their last strike. Right. He battles back to full count, hits the double with 2 outs to get in scoring position. If he doesn't do that, then there's not even an opportunity to have another at-bat, much less they went, and Stephen Vogt went right on right. He went to Noel and said, here you go, the one guy I think that can tie the game with 1 swing, and sure enough, a changeup down and in. Euphoria at that point.
Yeah, it was as close to being dead in the water as you can get, like you said, 1 strike to 3-0, and you're on the doorstep of a World Series if you're the New York Yankees. And now suddenly, and by the way, the Luke Weaver story is, the bubble finally burst. I mean, I was waiting eventually to say, like, this dream Weaver has to have a nightmare in it somewhere.
Yeah.
And giving up that 2-run homer, as you say, to Noel, after allowing that full count Thomas double, and now you got a tie score. And then Clay Holmes, comes in and gives out the 2-run shot to David Fry in the 10th. Was there any other option that you saw for Boone there to not pitch to him?
I don't think so. I mean, I think you just know up to that point that's your stopper, and he's been unstoppable. So the other shoe to drop, and it's history unlike anything. How our sport is so unique in this aspect. So you have Weaver, who's been untouched basically in save situations in the entirety of the postseason and down the stretch. You had Clay Holmes, who was second to Mariano Rivera for a postseason consecutive scoreless inning streak going in to face David Fry. And then David Fry, the third ever walk-off in Guardians postseason history. You remember the Oscar Gonzalez one in the 15th inning and the Tony Pena bat flip against Boston in 95. But he stands alone now, AR, in the wildest stat I think I've seen all day. He's the only player ever in Major League history in the postseason to have two out, 2-strike, go-ahead homers in the 7th inning or later in the same postseason, and it's happened in like 5 days.
That's incredible. I don't know too many people outside of Cleveland knew who David Fry was or is. Former Brewer. He was an all-star this year, so certainly he didn't come out of nowhere. But yeah, I mean, I think he was back in Single A when he was with the Brewers.
Yep.
And it's this march for him to be this kind of guy. And was he the player to be named later?
Yes.
Yes. So he has the player to be named later tag as well, right? Mejia went to Milwaukee?
Milwaukee. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Because he spent the year with us down here.
Correct. And there were a lot of people that were saying, like, he was actually a decent arm for us at that time. And people were kind of like, really? Mm-hmm. So November of 2022, again, in the player to be named category, we've been pretty damn good. Michael Brantley is the other big one, and now David Fry, a folk hero status here in Cleveland.
All right, so obviously the series is still alive. Where the heartbeat of it is, who knows, because you hope. I don't think the Yankees are suddenly going to curl up and die. Nobody feels that way. They're too weathered for this. I think they know they're too good for this. But this is an underdog that you just don't want to keep around because they just don't know how to go away and die. And so where is your mind right now, especially with Gavin taking the hill? And by the way, not good struggle bus at home this year, right?
Well, here's what I love. And again, I'll draw the postseason symmetry together. Yesterday was 20 years to the day that a man by the name of David Ortiz walked off the Yankees in Game 4 of that ALCS in which they were down 0-3. That is the series in which Boston became the first team ever to come back from the 0-3 deficit. Yes, against the New York Yankees. I think that David Fry epitomizes exactly where this club has been. They have put themselves in situations to be successful. They have had to roll the dice in certain spots. But remember what Kevin Millar said to the Boston Globe? He said, "You better beat the Sox and put us to bed, because don't let us get one, because then we got Petey, then we got Schill, and anything can happen in Game 7." That's where I think this club is at right now. Is if don't let them get even, because then you got Bybee, and then you force this thing back, and all of a sudden the narrative comes to the pressure on the Yankees because this was the quote-unquote easy route. Well, if they come level tonight, and I think I had a great shot to do it, then all of a sudden the narrative flips on its head, and we got ourselves a series.
Talking to my boy Jensen Lewis, one of the great dudes in the business, incredibly knowledgeable, and as I like to say, a guy that sent him down 1, 2, 3, Jeter, Abreu, and A-Rod many moons ago, but it's one of the great ones that I always like to talk about when I talk to my friend Jensen Lewis. All right, so Class A came in slinging near, 100-mile-an-hour cutters, got ahead of Judge, I think went 1-2, and then Judge, I mean, there have been times where you feel like he's unhittable and times where you think, like, what's going on here? Where are you on Class A?
I think he's going to be okay, and I go back to that homer to Carpenter in which something flipped for him. Like their switch went off, and he was absolutely dominant for the rest of the series from there. For you people in the social media streets that follow him, he went home and did a little, I guess, pep talk to himself. He brought out all his awards, took film of he's like, I'm going to be fine. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And that's life as a reliever, right? You cannot dwell on a couple of bad outings. Now the numbers are just mind-boggling anyway. AR 5 earned runs and 2 homers given up the entirety of the regular season, 6 earned runs and 3 homers in this postseason alone. So just kind of tells you the dominance. I fully expect him to come in today and be right back to where he was. There's something about him that is so good about just getting really PO'd, and when he does, look out, because he's a freight train when he gets going.
So of the demystified closers, Weaver and Clase, do you believe that both bounce backs are going to happen for both guys, or are you just more confident for Clase?
I think that I don't know if Luke Weaver is even available today.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be hard pressed to see Booney go with him for more than an inning if he can even go. And now that puts some pressure. Remember, Ian Hamilton left yesterday too, so that takes a bullpen arm away. I haven't seen any roster moves just yet, but I wonder if you really have to get as much out of Luis Gil, who hasn't pitched in almost the same amount of time that Gavin Williams has. So who the hell knows what's going to happen when these two guys fire in the first inning? I mean, I think that's incumbent upon lineups to be patient. But yeah, I think Weaver's in a bit more of trepidation here because of the workload to this point, AR. He has had multiple frames in every game he's been in, and I don't think, knowing you could have a possible game scenario tomorrow, we'd have to go. They're going to have to really piece this thing together late innings tonight if it's close.
Of the things you've experienced in a ballpark, playing, fan, media, where does that one rank?
Well, that game, when Hafner walked us off in Game 2 of the division series, I was warming up to come in the 11th inning. And so that was
the grand slam.
No, that was the walk-off, bases loaded RBI single through the side.
I'm sorry.
And so I can remember the seismic feel that 45,000 made that day. That was almost equivalent last night, and that just really catapulted us into that mindset of, okay, not only can we do this, but we're going to do it. And that's where I think these guys come in today, is they needed to just get one to kind of reset the table a little bit. And if they come out and they put it on heel, then I think you get a little squeaky bum time from the Yankee faithful. It is amazing how our game can just go complete different directions in a 24-hour time span.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. Here's one, franchise that's carrying around this longest of any, drought of any kind, right? 1948 of last winning a title. Yet somehow all it takes is one game for the Yankees to start, and their fans to start thinking of the Red Sox coming back and winning 4 straight, like you mentioned. So I love how that's changed. Now, I don't know that that's in their heads. It probably is not. More in fans and media and people that have just watched it. But that was an epic collapse by the Yankees as much as it was an epic comeback by Cleveland.
Yep. And some things, again, if you remember how Game 4 transpired, it was against Mariano Rivera, and I'll draw that same line from where Clase is at this point. The Red Sox had Billy Miller after Dave Roberts pinch hits after the leadoff walk from Kevin Millar. Roberts steals second. Billy Miller has a game-tying single up the middle, and that game ended. Remember, it was like 1 a.m. when they had to come back and play Game 5. They did the same exact thing, back-to-back walk-offs for Poppy, and they really then get the bloody sock game from Curt Schilling, as heroic a pitching performance we've seen in postseasons ever. Does that same mantra kind of come back here for Cleveland, where they draw on, guys, we got the most wins in the American League at home. We have the most comeback wins in big league baseball this year. Like, we're never out of this thing. And now if you're Aaron Boone, you've got to try and head off any extra momentum early. Like, they get down early, it's going to come full circle, because this group will then feel like, okay, we've successfully gotten off the mat, we've counterpunched, and now they're backtracking. So anxious to see how the first inning plays out.
Get to keep that Dodgers-Yanks World Series a little more on the back burner for a day or two. And by the way, I know pitchers aren't usually okay with bat flips, but I think you were okay with the ones last night, correct?
Oh, my God. And that's the time where you've earned it. You've earned the right to do that. And for Noel, and again, I know I've dropped some stats on it. This one is wild in and of itself. From August 31st to the end of the regular season and including this postseason, John Kenzie Noel, no homers, a 113 batting average. And he comes in, and that's his first pinch hit game-tying homer. That's also the first pinch hit game-tying homer in the bottom of the ninth or later with 2 outs in a postseason history. Like, it is dripping with so much that happened in 3 innings last night.
No doubt. That's when you need a guy up. You don't worry about his average. You just worry about whether he can hit out of the park, and he did, and it was amazing. Buddy, you're the best. Thanks for jumping on. Enjoy tonight. Keep it going.
Likewise. Talk soon.
Thanks. That's Jensen Lewis on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems bullpen fan line. All right, we'll come back. Who goes into the pressure cooker? Find out next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Columbus, the most wonderful time of the year, is finally here because Blue Jackets hockey is back. See it all and make new memories all season long. Get your tickets today at BlueJackets.com.
Welcome to the plus side, where a AAA Plus membership means that an empty gas tank won't keep you from a full day, and where a dead battery can't stop you from being the life of the party. Because on the plus side, roadside mishaps don't have to ruin your day. With AAA Plus, tire changes, battery swaps, and emergency fuel are just a tap away. AAA gets to you faster, and if you need a tow, we'll take you further. Become a member today and experience peace of mind on the plus side. Towing is subject to a 7-day waiting period. Terms and conditions apply.
There's a shocking new government report about the border crisis Sherrod Brown created. According to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, almost 500,000 convicted criminals have entered our country illegally, including nearly 30,000 found guilty of murder and sexual assault, including rape in their home countries. Now they are spread out across America because of Sherrod Brown's policies. But Sherrod Brown says,
I don't hear a lot about immigration from voters.
That's because Sherrod Brown doesn't listen to voters anymore. And while our safety is being jeopardized, Sherrod Brown is making sure illegals get taxpayer-funded benefits, like health care for illegals who get amnesty, Social Security, even COVID relief checks, all paid for by you. 31 years in Washington has changed Sherrod Brown. He's not for us anymore. He's way too liberal for Ohio. American Crossroads paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AmericanCrossroads.org.
Bring the thrill of the stadium to your wallet with the Love My Crew checking account from Pathways, the only checking account that rewards you for being a Crew fan. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
Thank you for calling Great Lakes. Great Lakes Kia.
Do you like scary movies?
Nah, they don't scare me.
What does scare you?
High car payments. They make me want to scream.
And at Great Lakes Kia?
We have brand new Kias, under $5 a day. Come pick one out.
Maybe I'm already here.
Cool. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorrento LX. All three under $5 a day.
That's only $139 a month for 24 months.
Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX, under $8 a day.
$249 for 24 months.
At Great Lakes Kia.
What if I have scary credit?
No problem. Get approved with 0% financing.
Perfect. And I'm right behind you.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus, GreatLakesKia.com.
Can I hang up now?
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
Just how liberal could Sherrod Brown be? What are his actual votes?
Well, he backed bills to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports and let transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms.
Very liberal.
Brown supported allowing children to receive puberty blockers and even sex change surgery.
Super liberal.
And worse, Brown even voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions, a procedure where the baby is partially delivered alive. That's right. Brown's votes for partial birth abortion are in the congressional record. And Sherrod Brown voted to allow this terrible procedure not once, not twice, but 6 different times over 8 years.
That's radical liberal.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's just way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, looking at sunny skies, high 69. Not quite as cold tonight, low 42. Sunny tomorrow, high 71. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Under Pressure.
Sponsored by United Dairy Farmers.
All right, a little pressure cooker time. And I'll tell you what, as long as we just talked about the Guardians, I'm going to lean in on the guards. And I'm going to put the pressure on a certain 25-year-old, a former first-round pick, 23rd overall back in 2021. I think he signed for a couple $1 million. And that's Cleveland pitcher Gavin Williams. This is his first postseason start. He didn't pitch in the ALDS. First start in almost a month. And I think he was supposed to play a pitch in their regular season finale against the Astros. But remember, that game was canceled. They had weather that was pending. And then they took the next 4 days off with the first-round bye. So can't start slow in this one, Gavin. Can't go down 3-1. We know that. And you got to ride this momentum. You got to keep Uncle Mo on your side. 16 starts in the regular season. Missed half the year because of that elbow injury. And in those appearances, I hate to say it, 3-10, almost a 5 ERA. Shutting down the Yankees lineup, that's a ton to ask. I'm not asking for that. But he drove the struggle bus at home at Progressive Field, 0-7 with almost a 7 ERA. Now, he's a much higher strikeout rate at home, which is nice. He's got that going for him, which is nice. But I think the pressure is firmly on Gavin Williams to at least hold the momentum for the Guardians. Kinger?
My pressure cooker is a welcome to the Big Ten pressure cooker. And it is Oregon going to Purdue. I know what you're thinking, and I agree. Oregon is one of the best teams in the country. They proved it last week. But Purdue is waiting on the road. West Lafayette going into Ross-Ade Stadium. You've got the Purdue Boilermakers. This is a different Purdue team, I will say. They're 1-5 this year. I mean, let's not act like this is the Purdue team Ohio State lost to. But you're going across time zones. You've got...
Oh, yes, the old time zone curse.
The old time zone curse. And with it, a Friday night game, so it's a short week. So much emotion from that Ohio State game. Your rule change that you were so proud of just got capped. You can't do it anymore with your 12 members on the field. You know, you're devastated about that, and now you've got to go play a team that knows how to upset top 5 teams. Give me Purdue plus 21.5.
29.5. Yeah.
I hear you. That's a little wild for me, but I just think it's more so welcome to the Big Ten for Oregon.
Yeah. The only part about trap games that I don't like is when people know they're trap games, and then they cease to be trap games.
You think Oregon knows?
Yes, I think they know. I don't know whether they can do anything about it. We'll see.
We knew it was a trap game that year.
This is wild for me. 4 straight L's to start the season for the Colorado Avalanche. This is the longest slide they've had to start a season in like 25 years. Now, that squad got back on track because they had Joe Sakic and Peter Forsberg and Patrick Waugh. They made it to the Western Conference Final. This team isn't the same team that won the Cup 3 seasons ago, but I think they have elite talent. Nathan McKinnon, of course, Cale Makar, 2 of the best players in the league, Mikko Rantanen. This season is still savable. I understand that. 4 games isn't a reason to just mash the panic button. But they've given up 25 goals in 4 games. The Colorado Avalanche are 0-4. It's late early. I'm putting them in the pressure cooker.
I love that saying. It's getting late early. My pressure cooker, I could have gone a couple ways here on this game going on the banks of the Lake Erie.
Can I give you something real fast?
Yes.
Dennis just emailed me in and said, forget the hot oil, deep fryer for Watson and Stefanski. I didn't know where you were going with that.
So it's interesting. I was going to say that. And then I thought, that's like saying, like, of course they're
water's wet.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so my pressure cooker goes to the man on the other side of the ball, Mr. Joseph Burrow. And here's the deal. Things did not start out the way they wanted in Cincinnati. But
Cincinnati,
Ohio. If you had said they were 3-4 and things weren't great, you'd say, okay, there's a lot of football in front of you. They have a chance to do that. But Joe Burrow has got to go into the place that he cannot win for some reason. Everyone else can win, apparently, just not Joe Burrow. And if they lose on the road at the Browns, this season takes a turn that I don't even know they can begin to recover from. But if they win, if they can get to 3-4, you go, hey, every goal is still very much alive.
No doubt. Oh, no, the Bengals are a better football team. They've been playing better, and they've had better losses than certainly the Browns. But
they've got to win in Cleveland. They can't do it. They can't do it. Everyone else can.
I'm going to put some obvious pressure on Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh.
You're 2-4. You're at Pittsburgh. They traded for Aaron's buddy to save the season. He's Rodgers' go-to guy now, especially in crunch time, which, by the way, they've needed that all this season. The Jets are 14th in point differential. They're 1-3 in games decided by a score or less. Now, maybe they've been a bit unlucky. They could be 3-3. Aaron Rodgers is looking 40 years old. He is. And he's currently, I'm looking at the stats right here, 25th in yards per attempt, 22nd in QBR, 26th in passer rating. So, if you're going to give up a day 2 pick for a receiver that's about to turn 32, then all of a sudden, he should put your team over the top. I think he's going to feel a lot of pressure. The Jets think their 13-year playoff drought can come to an end. I don't know about miracles, but they better win this game off the heels of firing a coach and signing Aaron's boy and him throwing another receiver under the bus. I'm putting it on Devontae and Aaron. You just made the list.
You made. I'm going to the other side of that game, and I'm going Mike Tomlin and Russell Wilson. Because if you're going to pull a guy,
he hasn't done it yet. I know.
Okay. If you're going to give a guy different snaps after that start to the season, you better look smart in this game. Because if Russell Wilson goes out there and lays an egg, Justin Fields is going to be sitting on the sideline going, what in the world? What are we doing here? What are we doing?
All right, there's your pressure
Did you miss
cooker.
my high-pitched voice?
I really did. Mm-hmm. I put you in timeout.
Yeah, I was sitting out there with my twiddling my thumbs.
You needed to, quote, think things over.
I did.
All right, we'll come back with Brady Quinn. He's in Bloomington, but we also want to give our tickets away because we want to complete the tease. So we'll give out, this is 2 tickets to the Toronto game against the CBJ on October 22nd. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
And so we like to do trivia questions here.
Before you give out the question.
Okay.
If you don't win the tickets, you can actually go to 971thefan.com and cash in on our ticket deal for the game against Toronto. $97.10 gets you either 2 mezzanine or 4 Upper Bowl tickets for that game. Go to 971thefan.com, go under events and contests, click on the fan ticket special, and they'll take you right to the portal, and you can grab those tickets for $97.10. Amazing deal.
All right, here's the trivia question. I'll unblock the phone line, 614-821-9710. Bama and Tennessee are playing. 2 years ago, they played a legendary game. Who caught 5 touchdown passes?
This is Googleable.
No, yeah, wait, no. You can't have a Google.
All right, fine.
All right, can I come up with one? I got it.
It's decently tough. It's outside of Columbus.
Yeah, but I can Google and call.
We've kept the trend going.
Someone knows it off the top of their head, and we'll call quick. And beat everybody else.
All right. I had a great question.
Go ahead.
Who caught 5 touchdown passes 2 years ago? Bama, Tennessee. Legendary college football.
821-9710. You better be the first caller. We'll come back with Brady Quinn. We'll see what he thinks of the Buckeyes now. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you don't like listening to Morning Juice, Bobby Carpenter's man nipples will punch you in the face.
For real.
You want to fight, do you?
Weekdays from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Looking for a career where you can grow and make a difference? Apply today to join the Bridge Credit Union family. In addition to great pay, Bridge Credit Union offers bonuses, health benefits, paid time off, and a retirement plan with employer match. Bridge also has professional development programs to help you advance your skills. It's not just a job, it's your future. Ready to take the next step? Apply online at bridgecu.org. That's bridgecu.org and start your journey today.
Hurry into Menards and stack up great savings on fiberglass insulation from Knauf. Did you know the attic is a home's #1 source of heat loss? Adding fiberglass insulation to your attic is an effective way to keep warm air in. A properly insulated home can save you up to 15% on your utility bills, all while increasing your family's comfort. Insulate now and save. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals.
Save big money at Menards.
Finally, fall is here. The leaves are changing, the air is crisp, and the cooler temperatures are a welcome relief. But as those temperatures continue to drop, it's also a reminder that winter is just around the corner. We know it might feel a little early to start talking about freezing temperatures and snow, but now is the perfect time to make sure your roof is ready. Before the winter weather hits, wouldn't you like the peace of mind that your home is protected? If you're unsure about the condition of your roof or just want to be prepared for the months ahead, call the professionals you can trust at Newman Roofing. With over 30 years in business and 3 generations of Newmans in the roofing industry, we're dedicated to educating you about your roof so you understand exactly what's happening. We believe that an informed homeowner can make the very best decision for their needs. Give us at Newman Roofing a call today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Let Newman Roofing help you prepare for winter the right way.
Bishop and Friends.
Chops was doing push-ups in here, took his shirt off and was flexing.
Oh,
he was
God.
showing me the boys, and I'm like,
The boys? Bishop and Friends.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Would you believe that giraffes are 30 times more likely to get hit by lightning than people? Or that a single cloud can weigh 550 tons or more? Sounds fake, right? How about an insurance company that actually treats you right? Sounds unbelievable, but it's true. NJM Insurance is proud to put policyholders first. And they don't use jingles or mascots either. Don't believe me? Well, guess what? Everything in this commercial is true and approved by the legal department. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Visit NJM.com for a quote.
Football fans, are you ready to score big this NFL season? Hey, it's T-Bone to tell you that Bud Light and 97.1 The Fan have teamed up for the ultimate football face-off. Join us each week for football face-off events and your chance to win a trip to Vegas where you'll compete for the grand prize. A trip for 2 to New Orleans or the Super Bowl. Drink Bud Light, enjoy the games, and take your shot at football glory. This week, join me on Sunday at Shaker's Public House on Wilson Bridge Road for the Browns-Bengals game. I'll be there from 2 to 4 p.m. to give you a shot at going to the Super Bowl.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. Is it time for a new or used car? Visit Tansky Sawmill Toyota on the corner of Sawmill and 161. Home of the Tansky Promise, where our salespeople aren't paid on commission, we have a 72-hour exchange policy, and every transaction is upfront and transparent. You can even start the process at home. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com to start your purchase today and to see all of this month's specials. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently sets your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
It's time for In the Pocket with Brady Quinn. A Dublin native, former Notre Dame quarterback, Browns first-round pick, star of Fox's Big Noon Kickoff, and most importantly, a very handsome man.
All right, he's our guys in B-Town, hanging out with the Hoosiers. Big Noon Kickoff. I'm coming down to see him myself, my man. Brady Quinn is with us, former 2-time All-American at Notre Dame, and, of course, Fox Sports Big Noon Kickoff. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Here now in sunny Bloomington, Indiana, getting ready for tomorrow's matchup for IU and Nebraska. Both teams coming off byes. But, the big surprise of the season has been Indiana. It's 6-0. The way Kurt Cignetti, coming from James Madison University, the things that he's done with this program just in 1 year's time has been pretty remarkable.
So they haven't, yes, it has been. This 6-0, first time in more than 50 years. Got to give him their due. He has injected a certain swag into the program we didn't see coming. They haven't beaten anyone really yet, Brady. Does their bubble burst this weekend against Nebraska, or will the fairy tale Hoosiers continue their march toward, dare I say it, a top 10?
I think the fairy tale Hoosiers will continue to move on. The thing I think I've noticed the more we've seen Dylan Raiola play, and as outstanding of a quarterback as he is for Nebraska as a freshman, he's still a freshman. And you see when he gets pressured, when he has the heat turned on, he struggles at times. And then the other thing is, I don't know if there's anyone that can match the big playability on the outside from Nebraska, given what you have at Indiana. Seems like they've just got a better knack for creating some of the big plays, and actually at the tops of the Big Ten as far as Curtis Rourke and 20-yard throws downfield, and also the running game. I mean, their offensive line has been pretty legit. So it will be a tight game, but I do think in the end, Indiana will utilize one of the first sellouts since 2021, this home crowd advantage, home crowd environment to lead them to victory.
You and most of us were very confident Ohio State would be too much for Oregon, especially when the Ducks' big defensive lineman Burch was ruled out. So Ohio State was on the wrong side of a great game again. In your mind, was this more about what Oregon is at their best or what Ohio State may be right now?
I don't even know if I'd put it that way. I would just simply say I didn't like the game plan on either side of the football for Ohio State. When Trayvon Henderson's averaging nearly 10 yards a clip and you get away from the run game, you don't need to. To me, it's just disappointing. I mean, this is, if you look at the example that's been said by other Big Ten teams that have been in the Big Ten, with the addition of the four new teams, really everyone's kind of inserted their dominance on those West Coast teams. And this is the first time where I thought Ohio State, really could have and had that advantage if they wanted it and kind of went away from it. And then on the flip side, defensively, it's almost like, hey, we've got all this talent. Like, why are we doing so much? I'm watching time and time again Oregon find their way to the backside B gap in the run game and finding a ton of production there. And at times I feel like it's scheme. They're almost, finding their way, out of position. And other times it's a lack of execution. And for example, an edge rusher not holding the edge or rushing too far upfield. I mean, I don't know how many times I saw JT Tuimoloau rush upfield and leave a gaping hole on that side of the defense for Jordan James to run through. So it's obviously a combination of things, but clearly lack of execution in the game plan to me, I didn't think on either side of the football was what Ohio State needed to demonstrate, I think, in order to beat Oregon. I'm not even sure if those two teams played again, like how close it would be. I'm that confident, I think, of what Ohio State can do.
That's quite the statement there, Brady. Adam King here filling in. I've got a question for you. On a local landscape here, it feels like the world is freaking out around Columbus about Ohio State. But on a national landscape, and maybe more shown through with them being just 4 after that loss, everyone seems to be almost as confident in Ohio State as they were before the game. Do you see that? Do you think that game only reiterated that these are 2 of the best teams in the country?
I think so. I mean, again, I still have questions about Oregon. I mean, it was a game in which they played a style that I really hadn't seen, and maybe Ohio State forced them to, with how much single coverage at times they gave on the outside. But, Evan Stewart, his ability to make big plays downfield and his speed was on full display. No one knows better than Denzel Burke after watching that game and watching that tape. But the reality is, I think a second time around, that game's going to look very different, schematically, and I think how Ohio State would try to eliminate some of those big plays. And I also offensively, too, and look at some of the things that they maybe could have excelled at. So they're 2 of the best teams. There's no doubt about it. And I think the one thing that we learned is there's a gap, I think, from Ohio State and Oregon and everyone else in the Big Ten. And I think we're going to see that probably, too, here in a few weeks when Ohio State heads to Happy Valley. We've seen Penn State now a number of times so far this year, and they're a good football team. I don't know that they're in the class of Ohio State and Oregon right now.
I did want to – you talked about Denzel Burke. I'm curious, in that game – you start to wonder, do you put Jermaine Matthews in? He was an All-American freshman. Do you let Denzel just kind of work through it? If you were in that position, would you have left Denzel in? I think it was eight times they targeted him, 8 catches. How do you handle that as a player, and would you have just kind of let him play through it?
Well, look, playing cornerback at the college level, the NFL level, it's extremely tough. I mean, you live on an island. When you make mistakes, everyone's going to see them. You just got to hope and pray the quarterback's not looking your way when some of those mistakes happen. Unfortunately, when you're matched up against a guy like Evan Stewart and you've got that sort of talent and speed and ability, it's a tough duty. It's a tough task. And so, I just don't think you put your player in that position in the first place with a scheme and trying to find ways of putting safety over top to help, maybe play a little bit more zone. See if you can't find ways of eliminating some of that. And that's why I feel like there's probably going to be a rematch between Ohio State and Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. And I highly suspect there won't be quite as much man-to-man coverage, at least when it comes to some of those, expected passing downs when Dylan Gabriel's going to be looking for a big player, looking for a guy like Evan Stewart or some of the other talented wide receivers they've got at Oregon.
We've seen letdowns. We've seen Bama let down after a big win. Tennessee is let down. I know Oregon has a short week here, but they're going to Purdue, who's won one game. Massive travel, short week, big favorite. I guess I would ask it this way. Who's next? Will there be a next this weekend?
Well, I think Texas is that team you have to look at, right? They got to play Georgia. Yes, they got to come to their house, but this will be by far and away the best quarterback that Texas has played to date, and probably the biggest challenge. Now, that's not to say that Texas isn't the better team. I think they're the most complete team in college football as of right now, but I think Georgia's maybe that next team that outside of a bad half of football, really would be unblemished at this point. So the big question for me is whether or not the wide receivers for Georgia can step up. I keep going back to that Alabama game. I really felt like there was some opportunity for them. The balls weren't perfect, but at times no one really helped out mid-plays for Carson Beck. And that's going to be the challenge because I believe Isaiah Bond will be back for Texas. We saw Quinn Ewers back last week at the quarterback spot. He's tended to statistically play really well in these big matchups. Now, throughout the course of his career, it hasn't necessarily led always to a bunch of wins. It's kind of a mixed bag, actually, if you look at his win-loss record. But he has shown up. He's done his part. He's averaging about 275 yards passing. I think he's done like 16 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. You're looking at his record versus ranked opponents. So he'll do his part, and that's really what this is about. It's a duel of two guys who are viewed as first-round quarterbacks, and obviously the one that stands on top, which, we kind of look at it saying that this might be a rematch in the SEC championship game with no divisions anymore. But that ultimately, I think, that's the team that I'll be looking at most to say, all right, who's going to get knocked off next? And it may very well be Texas.
All right, I'll give you one final one. Bama at Tennessee. Bama's playing with fire now, but Tennessee's come back to earth. They're at home. They're a home dog. You have any feel for that one?
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning more Bama in this case. I mean, Josh Heupel's system, offensively speaking, sometimes it kind of hits a wall at times where we see a lot of production, but in some of the biggest games, it's too easy to scheme up their protections. They're simplified. Nico Iamaleava, it's the first-year starting quarterback. He's missed some throws the last few weeks that we didn't see when they're playing easier competition. Now, Alabama's defense has struggled mightily, but I do think they'll have some things set up for Tennessee and to take advantage of Nico Iamaleava's youth. And the flip side, Jalen Milroe is still having to carry this team. I mean, he just continually puts them on his back with everything that he's able to do through the air and on the ground. So I kind of like Bama to continue to kind of creep back into the conversation in the SEC battling back. But it should be a great game.
I like it too. Enjoy it, my man. I'll stop by and say hi. Enjoy the weekend. Thanks so much.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Yep, that's Brady Quinn with us on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, we'll come back with the Buckeye Bulletin. And we've got an Ohio State running back who underwent a little procedure this week. Will he miss playing time because of it? We'll give you the latest next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Just how liberal could Sherrod Brown be? What are his actual votes?
Well, he backed bills to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports and let transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms.
Very liberal.
Brown supported allowing children to receive puberty blockers and even sex change surgery.
Super liberal.
And worse, Brown even voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions, a procedure where the baby is partially delivered alive. That's right. Brown's votes for partial birth abortion are in the congressional record. And Sherrod Brown voted to allow this terrible procedure not once, not twice, but 6 different times over 8 years.
That's radical liberal.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's just way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. 365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina. And at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Welcome, Columbus, to the all-new Toyota Direct. We've expanded our showroom, enhanced our service with 6 lanes, 85 bays, and 65 techs. Enjoy the new lounges with all of the comforts and extras. And now get 0% for up to 72 months on 100% of all new 24 and 25 Toyotas. Come see your all-new Toyota Direct, the area's #1 Toyota dealer.
0% for 72 on a new 24 Tundra with approved credit. Max financed MSRP on vehicle. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock by 10/31/24. See dealer for details.
We at Rosati Windows think the right way to do business is really pretty simple. You have to be honest. You have to have integrity. You have to care about what you do. Providing a product that we can be proud of, from sales, through manufacturing, through installation, all the way down to when we peel that last piece of film off the window. We're not going to leave your home until everything is right.
Call Rosati Windows today at 777-4806.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Gear up for game day with GNC. Just like your favorite college team prepares for their matchup each week, you can get ready to crush your fitness goals with GNC. Your coaches are in stores, ready to help you build muscle like a linebacker or slim down after a tough season. They have everything you need, including all the top brands, the new flavors you crave, the hottest protein, pre-workouts, creatine, and more to tackle your fitness goals. Don't wait for the final whistle. Fuel your fitness at GNC. Visit your local GNC or GNC.com today.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another furnace breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day furnace installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. So this kind of just cropped up. Doesn't sound serious, but
some would say dust it up.
Ohio State running back Quinshon Judkins had what they call a hand procedure. What that means, I don't know. But On3 was reporting this. And the good news is he's not expected to miss any playing time, obviously with them being on their bye week. But his hand was wrapped up. I don't know if you told me that before the Oregon game, but it was not a good game. Right? 23 yards on 11 carries and the fumble. So maybe he was clearly affected when Derek Harmon ripped the ball out of his hands. He did practice with a brace on, according to On3. And he was dealing with his hand before they even went on the road. And so he's not a fumbler. That was only the fourth one of his career. So you could maybe connect the dots there. But it's not like Ohio State didn't know this. They knew that maybe he was having some hand issues or strength issues in the hand. Maybe it did affect him on Saturday night. But the good news is he should be back. And what you want out of him is to be able to have a guy who's not going to be flinchy on running hard and being able to go into gaps that he needs to get into and get the hard yards. Because if you're protecting that hand, then maybe you wouldn't do that. Hopefully that won't happen. He wants the ball. Trey wants the ball, and they want to be a downhill running team. I was a little surprised, even though they had lost Simmons, which is a massive loss, but they got Tegra back, and I thought that they still abandoned that run. They just don't feel confident they can line it up and run it when they need to. And it wasn't late in the game. They could have gone to it. What they have? 19 yards rushing in the second half or something like that.
Yeah, they just kind of got away from it. Now, I will say this again. They got away from it, but let's not act like other things weren't working. I mean, the one run that sticks out to me in the second half that I think sticks out to a lot of people is the third and one that Trey could have gotten the first down and cut back. And you wonder there, or that was at the end of the first half, I apologize. You wonder there, what happens on that drive. There were a couple of runs that didn't go anywhere, but the offense never really had but 2 drives where they stalled. The rest were very, very fluid. And as you just heard Brady Quinn say, he thinks they should have run it down their throat a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm with him. All right, Ryan Day was on the coach's show yesterday, and what cropped up again was that very strategic move that Dan Lanning made. I don't know if you agree with this, but I'll let you hear it and react to it. Ryan Day was asked about the possible intentional 12 men on the field penalty.
When you look at it, really, if Will decided to work the boundary in that moment right there, we still had Carnell available there, and so I don't know how much that really had an effect on the play, but yeah, and actually, it kind of moved us towards being able to kick a field goal anyhow. But I do think that the right thing to do is to put the time back on the clock.
And you were screaming that right at the sidelines. I mean, right away you saw 12 men identified. You're talking to the linesman over there trying to get his attention. Can that be, something before the ball snaps? Can they call that, or do they just have to wait till it proceeds?
Yeah, I asked that question, to the head of the refs here, and they said no, they wouldn't blow it dead unless they saw it in back-to-back snaps. So, even if you were to call a timeout or something, that wouldn't work. So there's not much you can do there.
Now,
so Lanning couldn't run it back again and just keep playing that game.
Yeah,
bleeding the clock.
Because then that's a delay of game.
But he wasn't going to give up 5 more yards anyway because the OPI pushed him back, I think, to the 43. Yeah, and so you had him. I mean, Fielding's career long was 47. You had him at. Yeah, that's right. So they set that ball at 22 seconds, and Ohio State didn't snap it until 15, and then you had the 12 men. I'll tell you, when I was watching it live, full admission, I did not think it was on purpose. Later on, it made sense for me to say that, hey, would you swap 4 seconds for 5 yards at that point? Probably so. And he essentially admitted it. And if the NCAA, they wipe out this penalty the same week, or wipe out the rule the same week, it should be a dead ball. But if Ryan Day would have done it, I would have been coming here on Monday saying, well done. You found the loophole, and the situation called for it, and you did it.
I think this is kind of what Ryan Day was saying. I don't know that it's as big of a loophole as everyone's saying it is, because a couple things. One, and I don't know the rules. I'm not a ref expert, but I'm looking at the play right here. And you've got Jeremiah Smith on one-on-one coverage. If he catches that ball, it's at the 30-yard line, right? So then they've got the flag on the play. So the flag on the play stops the clock. Ohio State's not going to accept a penalty because if he catches that ball, they get 15 yards. So now they get an extra play because the clock is stopped with 7 seconds to go. And they don't have to use their timeout. And Ohio State could have gotten 10 more yards. So my thought is Dan Lanning would have looked. I can't imagine it was intentional and maybe it was. But if Jeremiah Smith catches that ball, he gives Ohio State a free timeout. Jeremiah Smith's in bounds. Ohio State would have had to burn their timeout and kick a 47-yard field goal. Instead, the flag would have been on the play. And they would have said, okay, defensive flag. Ohio State declines, but the clock stops for a defensive flag. There's 7 seconds left. They could have played a play, got 10 more yards. So I don't know if I'm as a believer, because
I don't know. You're sitting there at the 43-yard line. So if you don't get another yard, you're talking about a 60-yarder. He's not making that, and there's only 10 seconds. Why wouldn't you give him 5 more yards?
But you're missing. They got to play the down. They got to play the down, and Jeremiah Smith is in one-on-one coverage. If he catches it at the 30-yard line, and the clock stops because there's a flag on the play. Ohio State declines that. They've now got the ball in the Oregon 30 with 7 seconds and a stopped clock and their timeout. Mm-hmm. So now they can get another 10 yards, and you're kicking a 35-yard field goal. I don't know.
Well, I'm all in the camp he did it intentionally. I am.
If he did, I think it could have backfired quickly if Jeremiah Smith catches that ball. Because otherwise, if there's no flag on the play, they burn the timeout and they have to kick a 47-yarder. Jeremiah Smith not catching on one-on-one coverage changes everything about the history of that play.
Not that I want to relive it, but I may have to go back and take a look at that again.
Yeah.
But I
put that in your mind.
I fully believe they intentionally added a 12th man.
And that's fine.
Because they don't want to give up a big gain, and yeah.
But, you're in one-on-one coverage. You're still got a chance to give it up. And one-on-one coverage, we've said all year long, Jeremiah Smith wins that 70-30.
Buckeye Bulletin, there it is for a Friday. We'll come back top of the hour, SportsCenter update, and we'll get back into the CFP and where it shakes out now. And I'll update the Buckeye Belief poll that you need to weigh in on as well. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The only radio show Ryan Day listens to when we're holding him hostage, making him listen to a radio show. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Get your game room game day ready with Billiards Plus. Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, and games the whole family will enjoy. Now's the time to get your name on a pool table before the holiday rush. Plus, top-of-the-line grills still in stock. Shop Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. Is it time for a new or used car? Visit Tansky Sawmill Toyota on the corner of Sawmill and 161, home of the Tansky Promise, where our salespeople aren't paid on commission. We have a 72-hour exchange policy, and every transaction is upfront and transparent. You can even start the process at home. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com to start your purchase today and to see all of this month's specials. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something. Does it solve a problem? It solves a big problem.
Get Eco.
ECO. Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay Eco to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get Eco to replace it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying Eco to fix your furnace is like putting money in the bank.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Get Eco. Gotcha!
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
Now is a great time to start your holiday shopping at Meijer. Save big this week with our early holiday deals. Save $40 on a Gourmet air fryer. Save $30 when you buy a Keurig K-Slim single-serve coffee maker. And for the competitive ones on your gift list, select board games are 20% off. Shop even more great gift ideas like these in the Meijer Holiday Gift Guide. Available on Meijer.com, in-store, or in the Meijer app. Exclusions apply.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change will help ease your oil change-anxiety. Picture an oil change that's quick, not rushed. When you hear the bell, feel yourself becoming light as a feather. Now, let go of your oil change-anxiety. Visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change today. No automotive worry, no appointment needed.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching.
Does this have peanuts?
To waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a Pepper thing.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Cole Bartimus. So many sports, so little time. Let's get to it. Let's start with hockey from last night. The Blue Jackets picked up their second victory of the season. They dealt the Sabres a 6-4 loss. However, they had a loss of their own as Kent Johnson left the game with what is described as an upper body injury. The Jackets will host the Minnesota Wild tomorrow evening. Baseball from last night. The Guardians picked up their first win of the ALCS in dramatic fashion. Big Chris mistied the game in the bottom of the ninth with a 2-run blast, and then David Fry offered a repeat performance in the 10th to end it. The Yankees lead that series 2-1. Game 4 is tonight. Gavin Williams will throw against Luis Heel. In college football, the Buckeyes are off this week, so many eyes will look down south to watch Texas and Georgia, as well as Bama and Tennessee. And in the NFL this weekend, 1 o'clock on Sunday, the Bengals will head up to Lake Erie to have it out with the Browns. That one can be heard right here on The Fan. This update is brought to you by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View their full selection of vehicles online at germaintoyota.net.
It's Friday, and there's football. I shall call it Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for all things football. The Fan. Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, final hour of the program. Rothman and Ice. Adam King in for the Iceman today. Jeff Lloyd will join us. 2:33, the host of Locked On Browns. Battle Ohio, if you can call it that. Wow. Yeah, must win for both, but it feels even more important for Cincinnati because they actually have a real chance at maybe becoming something in the AFC because the Browns clearly have already told us they're sellers. How much they're going to be sellers, we'll find out. Cole, who won the your trivia question that they Googled and then called up?
I trust this guy. I should have asked him, honestly, who whether or not he Googled, but it was Justin in South Bloomfield. It was Jalen Hyatt who caught 5 touchdowns 2 years ago.
Justin, you were listening. We appreciate it. That's all that matters. You get the tickets, and if you want to get the $97.10 deal, go to 971thefan.com, go to the contest, and fire it off. You'll go to the Jackets and the Maple Leafs.
I will give someone credit if they tweet at me, what thing from a cookout does Anthony Rothman not eat very often anymore and can't decide if he likes it from earlier?
No, I like it. I just don't buy it for myself.
Okay, what is it? You send a tweet to me.
But we don't have any prizes to give out.
No, but the prize is I'm proud of you. That's the prize. I will give you a like on Twitter and an applause in person.
Basically what he's saying, Cole, is that's what should have been the question. It wasn't, and he still wants to get some points for it.
Well, I would not have known what the correct answer was.
Wow. So Cole, you should listen to the show.
So I do on Thursdays and Fridays sometimes.
Wait, Cole, it was today's show.
I do on Thursdays and Fridays sometimes.
I was busy doing something.
No, Cole, you're killing it out there. We're just giving you a hard time. You're doing great.
Yeah. My head's been spinning.
Yeah, you're doing great. We just Rothman. Also, disclaimer, I have to apologize. So we were debating the Jeremiah Smith play and the Dan Lanning stuff. I did not realize it was third down when that flag happened. If it had happened on second down, it would have been.
Yeah, they would have had to kick anyway.
Because it was third down, if Jeremiah Smith catches that, they have to kick. So I apologize, Rothman.
No, you don't have to apologize. Just do better.
Hey, I will apologize and do better. Rothman in the break, he took me outside and he said, listen, if you're going to be on my show, you better get stuff right.
Absolutely. Let's get it right more than we get it wrong because we do that a lot. No, I'm in the camp they intentionally did it, and that's fine. He had a chance to do it because they called a timeout They called a timeout the first time, and then he ran the 12 man out there. And you're right. If Jeremiah, by the way, you know what we're doing? We shouldn't even be talking about what if of Jeremiah catching that ball because I'll be honest with you, Will was late with it. He was. Yeah. There's nothing you can't protect.
But I won't stand for Will slander after that game.
No, it's not slander. He played a very good game.
Why are you saying he's terrible? No, I agree with you. It was late.
By the way, I also think he should have thrown the ball instead of running on the last play, which is trying to get his guy a little closer.
He played a really, really good game, but I think if you go back with any quarterback, you could see a couple.
Here's the deal. If he slides at the 30 instead of the 28, he is a hero.
Yeah.
He is an absolute hero.
Yeah.
So you're exactly right. Hey. There's no reason to get to crack on him other than I did think when you're trying to get somebody in field goal range, You can't stand there like it's a normal play in the middle of the game, because it's not. And it can't. It's got to be a quick out. And I did think he had Innis open. And he had Jeremiah open if the ball is thrown before the break. Now, Ryan Day did talk about that. He talked about, last thing you want to do is throw in a reception there and then not even have a chance. And he's right about that. He is. And so there are things to fix, and he knows it.
This is not a wake-up call at all. Guys have been going after it. We've been playing hard. We've been doing those things, but we got to find a way to win the game in the fourth quarter, and those are the things that we've identified that we got to do a better job of. We got to take care of the football. We got to win the rushing yards. We got to hold them to less X plays than we did, and those are the areas. Now, those aren't the only areas. We got other things that we got to clean up as well, and winning the game in the fourth quarter is what it's going to come down to in some of these bigger games.
It's got to be just killing him. And it's not, listen, it's on him too. He knows that. But it really does have to be killing him, because this is not a school of near misses. It can't be. No. And this team can't be. And he knows it. The beauty of it is, and listen, I know it's a cliche to say it's a wake-up call. There was nothing really about that game that was a wake-up call, other than you did have a defense that was incredibly hyped and really good early, that faced real championship caliber receivers and a quarterback and came out on the wrong end of it. And so that's the part that you really don't know until they face it again.
I don't want to sidebar our show, but can I ask you a question pre-Ryan Day? And maybe I'll even say pre-Urban Meyer. What was one of the bigger near misses that immediately comes to the top of your head in Ohio State history before Urban and Ryan?
And you mean a year or a season?
We're going to think about the Georgia game around here for a long time. People are going to talk about Kyle McCord's interception against Michigan. People are going to talk about the Michigan State field goal 2015. Before that,
I mean, I go all the way back to the 90s, unfortunately.
Okay.
Are you talking about in Tressel's era?
I mean, Tress had a couple years. I mean, he went to the title game both years.
Twice, right.
Yeah, but in both of those games, I mean, the LSU game, they were leading there for a while, but the Florida game wasn't necessarily close. I was just saying, you're saying it's a school of near misses. It feels like it's happening a lot more around here than it ever did.
That's the trend we talked about, which is that's why the loss is so painful.
That's why it stings.
It's not because it was, quote, a bad loss.
Yeah.
It was probably the best loss you could ever have outside of, facing Texas on the road and losing by a point. But right now, it feels like it's a bad trend. And he knows, you could hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
You can't, by the way, these coaches, if you prioritize, and he did it for us there, turnover battle, rushing yards, like, he knows the boxes they need to check to win big games, and right now they're not checking them. And it's not like Oregon had their best defensive player off the field.
Yeah.
By the way, same thing, ironically, here when Oregon beat them, right? Kayvon Thibodeau didn't play. So it's one of those things that, and Ohio State didn't go in there overconfident. They went in there appropriately confident. There were a lot of things that led to that. To me, there were a couple plays in that game. Honestly, there were many, but the ones that jump out to me that I highlighted all week were two very preventable plays. And I'm giving Oregon credit for winning that game. When you're up 21-15 and you got them in a 3rd and 9 at midfield with 1:25 left, the only thing you can't give up there is something over the top. And they were in a defense that allowed Oregon, a very good team, to risk doing it. Maybe they caught Ohio State by surprise. Maybe Tez Johnson caught Denzel Burke by surprise that he was going to break off that route at the sticks because Denzel was flat-footed, and then he blew by him. And guess what? Oregon's good enough to take that shot and complete it. That's the one, to me, cover zero at that moment is not situational, the right play to call. Now, maybe they thought their guys could get home. They tried to confuse Gabriel. I think they dropped Lyman. They brought Cody. But to your point earlier, they weren't getting the pressure they need to get up front. And that leads to some defensive breakdowns. But the other play of the game for me, Adam, real fast, JT, incredible talent. Loves to try to get the pick sixes on screen passes. And if he gets one, which got at Penn State, great. But he kind of hangs out there. His read on that 3rd and 2 kind of was a backbreaker to me because he's unblocked. and he goes and pins the running back instead of the quarterback. The back door is open. Ransom takes a bad angle, and you're giving up a 30-yard touchdown run to a quarterback that was so unnecessary, and that gave them the lead, and that's it. And so there are many moments. I mean, they held them at times, and the offense looked good at times. But those two plays to me, the situational defense before the half and the 3rd and 2 when JT bites on the read and Gabriel runs for a touchdown, to me were just massive plays in the game and very preventable.
You know, I think the JT play was just the toughest because for a half a second, it felt like finally they got in there. He blew up the play, right? There he goes. And when you have something like that, you're right. A backbreaker is a good word there. I mean, I keep going back to this. It's the best loss Ohio State has had since, I don't know, maybe Oklahoma at home with Baker Mayfield planting the flag, because it doesn't do anything for you, but it exposes a lot. And I know Brian isn't calling it a wake up call, and I understand that because they weren't cakewalk, they weren't sleeping. They didn't think they were going to go out there and
they didn't get cracked. A wake up call is when you get so exposed that it makes you feel like, wow, we're not even near what we thought we were.
This game, you can lay 15 plays out on the piece of paper, and they could have changed the outcome, each 15 of them. And I think that's
if Ransom takes back the block. If he takes it back, there's your 2 points.
Yeah, there's so many. And to Oregon's credit, I mean, if they call the interception there on the Will Kazmarek, where he should have caught it. That was a great throw by Will. That was a fantastic throw by Will. You have to catch that as a tight end.
And it was an interception.
And it was an interception.
Yeah, and it led to a touchdown.
And it did. And so, I mean, there's a lot of conversations there that we can have that I'm sure they're having inside the Woody. But the good news is they're the number 4 team in the country. And I think the bye came at a perfect time. I don't think you could have asked for a better bye. Hit the reset button. Go back to school. Regroup mentally, and then let's run it back rest of the season.
Yeah,
here.
Listen, this is Ohio State. You're not going to just turn the page quickly off that kind of dramatic game in a bye week.
Yeah.
Like, you don't think that had staying power, that loss, for a week? Of course it does. It has it in that locker room. It has it in the media.
I think it has it until they go to Penn State.
Well, no, I would say until they play their next game, you can officially turn the page, but then you have to. You certainly can't live on this, but you certainly can for a week. Like, this is something that's probably stuck with the players too. They can't wait to get back on the field and try to get this taste out of their mouth. But you're right, they won't be able to do it against this team and simulate it because they're not going to be playing this caliber of talent for a little bit.
I think the idea that they now go to Penn State with everybody saying, can you win the big one? Can you win the big one? Can you win the big one? They're going to be a top 3 team. Can you do it? Boy.
Well, what they don't need is probably Penn State to lose at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Out of their bye week.
Yeah. Good point.
You'd love to have that number 3 in front of Penn State when you get there, because I think everyone believes they're a paper lion in a way. It doesn't mean they don't deserve to be where they are. They've won the games, but they beat Illinois at home by 14 points, and they rescued a game against USC. So that'll be interesting. They're coming off a bye. They got to go to Wisconsin. They've caught a little fire, and then they've got Ohio State. If they get caught looking ahead to Ohio State, they'll probably lose to the Badgers.
Can I, again, I don't want to derail, but can I ask you a quick question? Michigan. I said back in the summer that I thought Michigan would be a 5-loss team at the end of the year, and people laughed at me. I think they lose this weekend to Illinois. I think they still have to play Oregon. If Michigan comes into the Ohio State game as a 4-loss team, does winning that game?
You're way ahead of it. I think it doesn't matter.
That was my question. That's how I felt. But I've had this conversation with people where they're like, well, if they're a 4-loss team, is it really going to be as sweet as if we had been? Absolutely.
No. You end the streak anyway, anyhow.
You can. Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I just thought I had the man of wisdom.
No, it's
I would
not.
Settle that right there.
Yes, but I can't even enter into that conversation yet because you can't leapfrog Penn State. This team has lost now the ability, not that they were, but anybody's ability to really start thinking games ahead now. Now they have to come back to where they were. And be centered and be ready for the next one. That's all you can do. All right, we're going to come back. Pre-snap reads next, and he's got a questionable tag. How much will he affect the game? You'll hear from Nick Chubb next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Ready to hit the road in a new car? With Pathways, enjoy up to 90 days with no payments and low auto loan rates. Learn more at pathwayscu.com. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and fall is in the air, and that really gets me going for delicious, savory breakfast like the Bob Evans new value menu with a whole lot of fresh breakfast options for just $5.99. I love the new griddle stacker with a sausage patty, American cheese, bacon, and a fried egg. But get this, 3 mini hot cakes. You're going to love it too. Here's the best part, the price. It's right in your wheelhouse. It's in my wheelhouse. It's starting at only $7.99. Stacked high and price low. Check them out at bobevans.com or on the new mobile app.
We have a lot of football happening. I'm here to help. Set your radio preset to the Fan. Very good. Now set a second one to ESPN Columbus. It's the HD2 button. Lastly, go to the Fan's HD3 and save the Fan 3. Crisis averted. You're welcome.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. The people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Are you saving to buy a home in the next 5 years? Grow your money faster at Bridge Credit Union with an Ohio Homebuyer Plus savings account. Earn 10% annual percentage yield plus a $2,500 closing credit for your new home. Must be an Ohio resident at least 18 years old. You only need $100 to get started. Visit bridgecu.org today. NMLS ID 402575. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Just how liberal could Sherrod Brown be? What are his actual votes?
Well, he backed bills to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports and let transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms.
Very liberal.
Brown supported allowing children to receive puberty blockers and even sex change surgery.
Super liberal.
And worse, Brown even voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions, a procedure where the baby is partially delivered alive. That's right. Brown's votes for partial birth abortion are in the congressional record. And Sherrod Brown voted to allow this terrible procedure not once, not twice, but 6 different times over 8 years.
That's radical liberal.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's just way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, sunny with a high of 69. Tonight, clear and chilly, low 42. Sunny tomorrow, high 71. Sunny on Sunday with a high of 74. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, first a little Bet365 time. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today. You get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. All right, super boost tonight for the MLB Championship Series Yanks guards. I kind of like this one. Jose Ramirez with a hit. Steven Kwan with a hit. That'll take you from plus 130 to plus 225. Don't mess around with wins and all that stuff. Just those two guys get a hit, plus 225. I'm going to jump in on the Bet365 Super Boost tonight. See anything that you like?
Anything I like, it's simple. It's simple. We put them in the pressure cooker. We picked them, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Purdue plus 29.5. It's that simple.
It's going all in.
All in
Friday night in West Lafayette.
Boiler up.
All right, Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. It truly is the best. Got to be 21 or older, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right. I don't know if the odds are in Nick Chubb's favor. I thought you were going to say an anytime touchdown for Nick Chubb. That's at plus 130. Might be a little risky.
Oh, I thought it had to be today.
It can be anything, man.
Oh, well then
it could be a future. It can be whatever.
Would put a bet on 2028 Ohio State National Championship. All right, there you go, Rothman.
That I don't know is available. I don't think it's available right now.
No,
Let's
I like
keep it to things that are
Nick
available.
Chubb touchdown. On honorary touchdown at home.
Listen, if they get inside the 5, he'll be getting it. But that's a big if, and I don't know how many carries he's going to get. And to try to play will he get enough carries and then have the situation to score? I don't know. So I'm probably going to stay away from it. I'll root for it. But the big question is, will he be effective if he plays tomorrow? Obviously, everyone is rooting for him. This is a tremendous comeback story. He's coming back for the right game. And here's Nick on when he felt he'd be back.
I think the first time I ever ran, I knew I would be back. You know, it was just a monumental moment for me to actually run again. Now I knew at that moment that I'll become back to where I was.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible, honestly. I said last week I don't even know if I would play him, but he wants to play and he's going to test it out. Just doesn't seem like this season is worth saving, but here we are. What does he expect to add to this offense?
I want to do whatever I can to go out there and help us win on Sunday, however that looks like. If I'm just bringing energy to the crowd, if that helps us win, then I'm all for it.
Wow. His attitude should inspire this team, but they need more than inspiration at this point.
They need a lot more than inspiration, but with that said, sometimes turning around and handing the ball to Nick Chubb has been very successful for this team in the past. So maybe that sparks something to get them over 20 points.
Making his season debut. This is a dude that squatted 540 pounds 8 months after blowing out his knee. And everybody said he's just different.
Just to be fair, I once squatted 150 pounds. And I, on that same day, sprained my ankle. That happened after I squatted.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, okay.
The sprained ankle came from squatting.
Yeah, it was really just the bar. I had to get it back somehow.
Boy, I'll tell you, I don't think I've ever rooted for a guy more. I mean, this just has that kind of a feeling.
It's also, did you see when he was getting emotional, they were kind of messing with him in the press conference, cheering for him coming back? Like, it's just great. It's a great moment for Cleveland, and it couldn't come at a better time because things are very, they're very negative right now up in Cleveland, and this gives it some light to look for.
Let's just see, for the sake of it, what his over-under on rushing yards is for Sunday.
Okay.
Do you know this?
I have no idea. I would say...
What do you think Bet365 has put for his over-under rushing yards on Sunday when Kevin Stefanski says that he's got a questionable tag on him, but he is expected to play for the first time?
58.5 yards.
Cole, what's your guess?
Oh, man, I was going to say like 45.5.
Yeah, it's 40.5.
Ah.
Yeah, that 50, that's a milestone. Even for good backs, 50's tough.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, I know. You can shatter it or you can come way below.
But here's the thing that I do wonder. What Nick Chubb do we see? I mean, if this is the Nick Chubb, like if he can come back and be Nick Chubb, then...
Well, I wouldn't expect that. What I would expect is a guy. When I say he's different, what I mean by that also is that I think he's a guy that will trust it from the start.
Yeah.
That he will not try to ease in. That he will run hard and hope for the best. I don't see him being anything but that. I don't know if this offense. See, nothing scares you about this offense. They just traded Amari Cooper away. So it's a weird game to bring back Nick Chubb and expect him to run now. The only good news is that the Bengals' run defense has been horrid.
I just believe, I guess, if they're going to play him, I understand they're hesitant. I think after the first quarter, he's going to just come back and they're going to play him like he's Nick Chubb. That's my belief. And I think he's going to run for 58.5 yards.
Right. I would take the over on 40.5.
Okay.
Even though he'd probably need, 10 touches to get it for me, which he might get. All right, those are your pre-snap reads for today. We're going to come back, and we'll talk Brownies, Locked On Brownies, with our friend Jeff Lloyd on the Battle of Ohio. Can they keep Burrow winless in Cleveland? Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
If you've recently seen a photo of an older Baker Mayfield fresh off a bender, it's just Bo Bishop. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100 and be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. Is it time for a new or used car? Visit Tansky Sawmill Toyota on the corner of Sawmill and 161, home of the Tansky Promise, where our salespeople aren't paid on commission. We have a 72-hour exchange policy, and every transaction is upfront and transparent. You can even start the process at home. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com to start your purchase today and to see all of this month's specials. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
If a friend asks how you're doing, and you say,
I'm okay.
When the truth is,
I don't want my problems to burden anyone.
Or you say,
hang it in there.
Because
if I ask for help, they'll just think I'm weak.
Then this is your sign to call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential support. Anytime. You don't have to hide how you feel.
Did you and your family lose Ohio Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Morning Juice.
Sometimes you maybe make a mistake. How do you recover from that? What do you do? How do you go about solving it? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself.
Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Affinity Whole Health.
Weekday mornings at 6. The Fan.
You know that project you've been working on? Just chipping away at it, dreaming of the day you get to show it off? Then, when you're least expecting it, cancer. And finishing that project actually happens. I would know. I've been restoring this car for years, and today I'm giving it to my granddaughter. It's her 16th birthday and 2 years since my cancer diagnosis.
Mom, you finished it?
Happy birthday, boo-boo. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Rosati Windows, the best buying experience in the business.
After the sales process, our installers are the single most important part of the customer experience. Even great windows aren't worth a dime if they're not properly installed. We spend a lot of time testing and choosing our installers. I have to be positive that our customers will receive only the best.
Call Rosati Windows today, 777-4806.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+, subject to program terms at dooutdoors.com and 12/31/24, void or prohibited.
Connection, opportunity, possibility. It's what we all want. Spectrum has built a world where anything is possible, with products and services designed to work better together for a seamless connectivity experience. A connection to family and friends, a connection to education, and a connection to new opportunities. So there's no limit to how big we can dream. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code Columbus now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Big Game Preview.
Sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company. We love what moves you.
All right, welcome back into Rothman and Ice. I tell you, the Battle of Ohio, it's tough to promote this one big time. We thought it would be before the season. But my man, Jeff Lloyd, host of Locked On Browns, is with us now on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Jeff, good to have you.
Thanks again, as always. And the thing is, if you were going to describe this one probably as a Mexican dish, this one would be mild.
Yeah, well, it's going to get a little seasoning, though, with Nick Chubb, right? I might as well start there. Man, I'll tell you, the pressure this guy must feel to step in and try to save a season is ridiculous. But I don't even know what reality is. What are you anticipating when it comes to usage and how they will deploy Nick Chubb on his return tour?
Well, even if you just go to the simplest of it and you try to do some math, if you said it was 3 touches a quarter, you're at 12 touches for the game. Maybe that's kind of like an accurate number. For Nick to come back to this, and this is probably going to be the one thing that's going to maybe make the Browns crowd somewhat, tolerable on Sunday. They got a lot of, pent up aggravation, and they rightfully do. Team's been away for 3 weeks. They haven't won a ball game. Sitting at 1-5 on the year. Obviously, there's a lot of hostility within that crowd. But Nick coming back, look, it does mean some things. There's a lot of guys in that locker room, who need a guy like Nick Chubb. The faces of this team over the last 6-7 years are obviously Nick, Miles, Joel Bitonio. And, Joel doesn't get the credit he deserves as an offensive lineman, unfortunately. So Miles and Nick are usually the faces of this team. Having him back, it's just got to make you feel like you're automatically just a better football team. But, yeah, you do bring up a great point about how much you can actually expect from him in his first time back. It looks like maybe Naheem Hines is going to make his way back, too. So maybe between the two of them, you can get 15, 16 touches. A lot of that is going to be obviously game dictated and score dictated. But the important thing for Nick and the important thing probably for the Browns as a whole is that, one of the guys that they all look up to, they all try to pattern themselves after, will be back with the team on Sunday.
Jeff, as we talk about Nick Chubb, it just occurred to me how weird it would have been if they switched quarterbacks now and gifted Jameis Winston Nick Chubb. That may have been, who knows, maybe that's why, maybe this was their true motivation in letting Deshaun try to play his way out of this mess, is that they knew Nick Chubb was going to return at some point. Give me your feeling on that, where you are with Deshaun and whether or not this eventually tips and he gets benched and they just go with Jameis. Is this the tipping point this weekend?
Well, I think there's a couple of ways to look at this. If you look at it and look, everybody wants to, play the blame game. Well, who was the orchestrator of bringing him here? You got to figure somehow, some way, even at worst, if you just want to guesstimate, you put 33% on Stefanski, on Barry, on Jimmy Haslam, obviously. And if you're Barry and you're Stefanski and you go to Jimmy Haslam and say we're going to make the switch, If I'm Jimmy Haslam and I'm the owner, I'm saying, well, guys, we gave up all this draft capital. I offered up $230 million, basically of my own money, to make this work. So you want to know what? You guys said it would work. Make it work, boys. So, they're kind of under the microscope from that point. Look, the logical thing is just to pull him at this point. Look, if it was the point where he was playing as a middle-of-the-road quarterback or, a bottom third of the league quarterback, you could say, hey, there are factors here, this, that, and the other thing, and you could point at the rest of the team and say, look, quarterback isn't necessarily the only position that's not getting it done. Because other than linebacker, I don't think the Browns are getting equal play from any other positional group on the entire roster. Look, I think the move should have been made. I think there's a couple ways to look at it. With Deshaun, and I think the problem is he is getting pressured a ton, as we all know. But when he's not getting pressured, sometimes he thinks he's getting pressured, and he tries to do things with his legs. Jameis Winston, his legs aren't plan B. He knows he's not going to make much of a difference with his legs. So he's going to do everything he can to stand in that pocket and find receivers. So I think, for me, that's one of the reasons I would go with it. Because, look, if this doesn't go well this year, you're probably saying somehow, some way, we're going to have another quarterback in here for next season. I just don't understand why you were okay with punting 2022 on the acquisition of Deshaun Watson. And now here you are, maybe ready to say again for the second time in 3 years, we're going to punt on an entire season because of Deshaun Watson. I just don't think it's fair to the other 52 guys in the locker room, personally.
Well, the narrative is weird now because they are sellers. They shipped off Amari Cooper. Maybe Zadarius Smith is the next one to go. Yet they're pumping this up as there's still time, or this guy gives us the best chance to win. How do you feel this is playing in the locker room? The trade from Amari Cooper, and now here comes Cincinnati, a Bengals offense that's caught fire the past 3 games. So I want to get your feeling on how motivated are they to, quote, win the Battle of Ohio. It's a rival. It's a division game, all that. And then your confidence. Is this defense going to do what others haven't been able to do lately against Burrow?
Well, the Cooper thing, you look at it. Look, you had a chance to get out of this with a top 100 pick, coming up in this yeyear's draft. Amari, and we've talked about this before, this was one of the best moves the Andrew Berry regime made to this point. You spent a 5th-round pick. You got, 1,200-yard seasons, ridiculous, amount of production from Amari. It just wasn't going nearly as well this year. But the problem they had is they have a whole bunch of young receivers who are under contract for 2025 and beyond. And, you needed to evaluate these guys too. And now if you want to feature Amari Cooper for 12 targets a game, that's fine. But you're not winning. So you could have said, look, we'll punt on evaluating the young guys because we're winning. You weren't winning. So Amari Cooper getting his stats and padding his stats and not winning wasn't helping anybody, obviously. So now you have to make the switch here, and you want to, see where Jerry Jeudy is. Is he going to be a one that you're hoping? Maybe not. But even still, you want a true evaluation. Cedric Tillman, Jamari Thrash, has not even dressed yet. He's a guy that's certainly capable of coming in, helping this team, catching some passes. Cincinnati, it was always going to be the thing with Cincinnati. As great as their offense is, it was going to be hard to field a competitive defense, and stay under the finances, within the finances, I should say, that the Bengals can work with. You lost a guy in Dax Hill, one of their cornerbacks, who was, expected to have, a big year jumping out to full-time cornerback. But the offense can just score. The running backs obviously are good. We know how good Joe Burrow is. We know how good their receivers are. But Joe Burrow has not won in Cleveland yet. The Browns do have times seem to have had his number. But that's when the Browns cornerbacks were playing almost to an elite level. We have not seen that from Greg Newsome and certainly from Martin Emerson over the last couple of weeks. So, it's going to take a step up for the Browns to be able to play against the Bengals the way they have in years past. And, after the way they looked last week against Philly, you probably have, some trepidation that that's going to happen. But it is still the Battle of Ohio. Nick Chubb putting on shoulder pads and playing in this game probably wants to elevate everybody around him. You think everybody else is going to come out a little more confident. But, right now this Bengals offense is probably playing at a level the Browns defense cannot handle.
3 straight home games before the bye. Are you allowing yourself, Jeff Lloyd, to think anything other than this season is probably done?
Well, you win 3 and let's talk. Otherwise, then it's, that's the only way you can go about it, Look, everybody knew the beginning. It was all the NFC East and obviously the 2 other games. That was the chance to hopefully go 3-3, to hopefully go 4-2. They did nothing of the sort. They dug this hole themselves. Do you want to, have the season over by Thanksgiving? Well, if you don't want it to be over by Thanksgiving, you got to start peeling off some wins and peeling off some wins quickly. At least you have the advantage of playing at home, which to this point hasn't been their best asset. But, look, they're big boys. They're making a lot of money. It's up to them now. And it's going to take, every positional unit stepping up and playing better than they have to the point of the first 6 games. But, the expectation was high for this team. You'd like to at least see them go out with a fighting chance,
Yeah. All right, final one for you, Jeff. I know you're busy. Appreciate you jumping on. The Dome Talk in Brook Park is back on. The lease with the city of Cleveland ends after 2028, I believe, so a move to the burbs is pending. Indoor football in Cleveland is coming. Will this crush the Cleveland identity, or will it eventually become what I would say the Vikings have become, accepted new identity?
Look, there's sentimentality to it. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a lot of people that says, I would rather just have a good football team. I don't need the bougie stadium. I don't need the fact that it's going to be climate controlled for every game I go to. But you want to know what? Once people walk into this place and, you see it, and then all of a sudden maybe there's a talk of a Super Bowl being hosted in Cleveland. Maybe that Big Ten championship game doesn't always go to Indianapolis every year when there's a place in Ohio that it can be played. Final Fours, year-round concert events. It was always going to be Brook Park. Billionaires do billionaire things. And why would Jimmy just go dump money into something that was built in 1999? It's kind of like slapping lipstick on a pig. He was going to go big. He was going to go bold. Everybody knew this. You played the game and can we make it work there? When at the end of the day, everybody kind of knew it wasn't. Look, it's going to be tough for a lot of people who've been going there since 1999, meeting friends, family, probably creating friends and even probably family in their times in those parking lots outside of that stadium. Mm. But, good things deserve to happen for everyone. And I guarantee you, if the Cleveland Browns find a way to be successful in Brook Park, nobody's going to care. They could play in the mall parking lot. If the team was good, that is all these fans will care about.
Well, it'll be 20 minutes closer to us in Columbus, so that'll matter for people down here, maybe. Jeff, good job.
There you go.
Appreciate it. 1 o'clock Sunday. Enjoy the Battle of Ohio, whatever it turns out to be, my man.
Looking forward to it. Look, it's tough getting through all the content during the week when the team's not achieving. But, once Sunday everybody opens up their eyes, it's game day. That's all you want.
Yeah, and they still have the Guardians right now to divert their attention, so we'll root for them as well.
Give them another couple of nights, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, thanks, bud. Have a great weekend.
All the best.
Jeff Lloyd with us, Locked On Browns, the host on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. When we come back, tell the truth going into the weekend. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like the best-selling RAV4. Now through November 4th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new gas-powered 2024 RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Hello, I am a serious announcer hired to deliver a serious announcement. Get an Apex Pros winter tune-up for your furnace right now for only $29. Notice we are simply giving you the facts. Just $29 to make sure your furnace is ready for the upcoming Ohio winter. We know how you enjoy our usual fun and funny commercials. Hello? Beg pardon? Well, I see no reason to bring my mother into this. Good day to you, sir. Where was I? Oh, yes. A $29 tune-up will make sure your furnace runs safely and warmly all winter. That's serious. I'm serious. That's why we're not doing the usual that you've come to expect from Apex Pros. None of this or this nonsense. $29 for a furnace tune-up from Apex Pros. The pros who knows? Knows? Is that really how you say it? The pros who...
Apex Pros, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea?
Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every single night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I get it, but there are alternatives to the CPAP machine, and Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and stops your snoring. What a concept. It's quick, comfortable, and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and he has a track record to prove it. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. And as the end of the year approaches, a lot of people have exceeded their medical deductibles, which means less out of pocket for you. Don't delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Or you can visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com.
The Buckeye Show.
You can't ever be a program that means business. If Ohio State ever lost that kind of game at home, we would be laughing at them and we would never stop.
The Buckeye Show.
Presented by Coors Light and sponsored by CareSource.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
Just how liberal could Sherrod Brown be? What are his actual votes?
Well, he backed bills to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports and let transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms.
Very liberal.
Brown supported allowing children to receive puberty blockers and even sex change surgery.
Super liberal.
And worse, Brown even voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions, a procedure where the baby is partially delivered alive. That's right. Brown's votes for partial birth abortion are in the congressional record. And Sherrod Brown voted to allow this terrible procedure not once, not twice, but 6 different times over 8 years.
That's radical liberal.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's just way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Celebrate football season with the one and only Schmitz. A Columbus tradition like no other, Schmitz has been serving up delicious Bahama Mamas, sausages, cream puffs, and more for well over a century. Stop into the historic German Village restaurant for lunch or dinner. And after your meal, bring home the most delicious tailgate spread for the big weekend. Schmitz Sausage Haus in historic German Village or online at schmidthaus.com. Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate?
Scotty Vegas for Maxima Concrete. From a basic driveway replacement to a complex in-ground pool, patio, or outdoor kitchen installation, Maxima can do it all. Broom finish, stamped and colored, or exposed aggregate concrete, pavers, fire pits, seating walls, even lighting. Maxima is all in-house. Never any subs, so hire the guys that will actually perform the work. Mention this ad for $250 off your next project. Still plenty of time left this season, so get a free estimate today by visiting MaximaConcrete.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft beer.
All right, a little tell the truth. Before that, I want to give a little honorable mention to the people that knew that I do appreciate baked beans.
Yes.
And I like them as maybe my favorite side at a cookout. And if your cookout is not serving baked beans, then it's not a cookout for me. And it's not anything I would really buy for myself necessarily or make on occasion. But I truly enjoy baked beans.
I will make
more
you baked
beans, Mr. Taggart. Sounds like you boys have had enough.
First of all, this one guy named Philip Henry II.
It's a great name. It's almost Atticus Sappington III.
I mean, I'm pretty sure this guy's from years and years ago, centuries ago. But he knew it was baked beans, and I'm impressed. Although he called it baked beans as opposed to baked beans.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
what? You just said the same thing twice.
Yeah,
no,
you just did.
Baked versus bake.
What did he say?
He said bake.
No, it's baked. It's got to be.
Well, now it's got me thinking. One guy replied baked.
Am I wrong?
Baked beans.
This conversation is baked.
It is never in my...
Okay, it's baked. It's
never been...
Yeah. First of all, Cole, it was a great conversation. We won't stand for the slander.
It was a great question. There we go. Gallerhorn time. All right, take us home, man.
Yeah, AR, you got to start us off here. You got to tell the truth on your fan poll about Ohio State and Oregon yesterday.
All right, so I put out a fan poll, a couple in a row. Got real poll crazy this week. If the Buckeyes play Oregon again, what happens? Your choices were OSU gets revenge, no doubt. The Ducks sweep, or I have no clue, it's another nail-biter.
Ooh. What about like Ohio State wins by 7.5?
Oh, here we go.
No, I mean, I think I would pick Ohio State wins, no doubt, more than I pick Duck sweep, but I think it's probably a nail-biter that the Buckeyes win.
What did you think that the poll? What was the first place in the poll?
I think first place was nail-biter, second place was Duck sweep, third place, because fans are not in a good place right now. Third place was Ohio State wins.
You're completely wrong.
Wow.
It's topsy-turvy. It's 60% Ohio State gets revenge, no doubt. 30% no clue, another nail-biter. 10% Duck sweep.
Well, good. I'm glad the fan base is turning over a new leaf because the last couple of days there's been a cloud around here.
Stop talking about the game.
It's so sad. Sorry.
You sit on a throne of lies.
I just saw a hilarious tweet in the commercial break, and now I got to bring it to this show. Tell the truth. Do you think the Lakers have a group chat without LeBron James and Bronny?
No. No. Stop trying to start drama. No.
You mean you think the rest of the team is chatting about why in the world did they pick his son? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
That would get out in a hurry. Well, I mean, somebody would say, hey, LeBron, they're saying a lot of stuff in this chat about you and your son. It wouldn't go over very well. What, you got a group chat without Rothman and I?
No, I'm in a group chat with Rothman and Bodie, and we talk about the movie Rudy.
What about me?
That's right.
You can join.
Yeah, you can join. You're 5'0", 100. We could do it.
I could be Rudy.
All right, continue. I would say it's false.
Just tell me the truth.
All right, tomorrow is National Kentucky Day. Do you have any memories of the state down south?
I went to school at UC, and so
does that count?
Kentucky, right across the border, has a place called Party Source. A lot of places to get some party supplies.
Okay.
A lot of great memories with Party Source in Kentucky.
Do they check IDs?
Yes, they do, and I would never buy alcohol underage, Cole. That is an incredibly ridiculous question to ask. Drink responsibly, Cole.
Years ago, when I was hosting with my friend Bo Bishop, he obviously is the bourbon expert. Mm-hmm. I'm not even close. But he started talking about Pappy Van Winkle on the show. That you got to luck into this, you got to get a lottery, there's no way. It's like some kind of folklorish thing. And I looked at him on the show and I said, I can get it. And he said, you can't get it.
Wait a minute.
No one can get it.
Wait a minute.
So I have a friend, Matt Mossman, who happened to fit the Van Winkles for their golf clubs. And he goes down to Frankfurt or wherever and comes back with a 12-year-old Rip Van Winkle. And it's signed on the bottle by either Julian Big Van or maybe Julian Van Winkle III. And it says to Bishop and Rothman from, I think it was Julian Van Winkle III. And I bring it into the studio, and I just put it on his chair before he got there. And we took a shot after the show, or had a drink after the show. And since I really didn't know how valuable this really was, I said, you can have it. And a buddy of mine said, do you know how much that bottle is worth? Just if you could buy it, like from somebody? I said, no, I don't know. 100, 150 bucks. He goes, add about 1,500 to that.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Whoa. Well,
So I gifted it to my friend, and he appreciates it more than I did or do at the time, and still, that's the fact. And I don't know to this day whether it still got 3/4 of it in there of what we didn't drink that day after the show, or whether he's already gone through it. But he will have probably kept the bottle because it was signed to us from Julian Van Winkle III. That's my only Kentucky story today.
First of all, way to just kick my Kentucky story
massive
out of the
flex,
water.
I know.
I mean, that was phenomenal.
Don't I get points off, though, for not knowing how valuable it was?
Yes, but I mean, I think that almost shows you how easy it was for you to get it. You're like, well, I can get this any day. Hi, I would like to test if you can get me a bottle.
I can't get it.
All right.
I can't get it again.
Mm-hmm.
One to a customer in the lifetime. All right, Adam, thank you for stopping by.
Hey, that's me.
And we appreciate it. Thank you, Columbus. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, sorry that you had to kick me out a couple times.
You have a great night covering high school football.
And I am looking at a half-empty bottle of Cavatier, which means that we are just about
I wish I was looking at a half-empty bottle of Pappy Van Winkle.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember Purdue.
I don't care about them. I'm off to Bloomington, the real Indiana football team. All right?
All right.
Have a great weekend.
You have a great weekend.
Thank you. Stay tuned. Common Man and T-Bone next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone are idiots. You should listen to them anyway.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio's idiot destination. This is a Fan Action Update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use the promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100. College football action tonight. Duke 0-22 against Florida State. They look to change that tonight as a 3.5-point favorite. Purdue is a 28.5-point home underdog to Oregon, and BYU is giving Oklahoma State 9.5. For your Prime Sports Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Hey, it's Anthony. Do more with your money at Tel-Ohio Credit Union. If you know Tel-Ohio Choice Checking, you know all the perks that come with your account. Cash in your benefits by setting up an account today. Find out more at telohio.org.
Certain restrictions apply. Tel-Ohio is open to all in Central and Southwestern Ohio. Federally insured by NCUA.
The Christmas cash giveaways now at UDF. With UDrive Plus, 1 in 7 can play to win prizes instantly, including $1,000 weekly by buying specially marked items at UDF. No purchase necessary. Visit udrivecontest.com for official rules.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. If your fall is anything like the people in my neighborhood, your weekends are full of driving kids to endless soccer things. So if you're going to be on the road, be as comfortable as possible. 4 out of 5 doctors recommend a new Lexus. That's not true, but I recommend it. Deal time, 2.99% finance rate on a 2024 RX. That's madness. 4.49% finance rate for a 2025 NX. And you can get up to $5,000 lease cash for a 2024 RX. Check them out online, JermaineLexus.com.
Where can you find a locally owned John Deere dealership that offers unmatched individual attention? Voss Brothers Power Equipment. Voss Brothers has been serving our friends and neighbors in Central Ohio for over 30 years. Stop by their Powell location on Sawmill Road and make your work easier with the versatile John Deere 1025R compact utility tractor. Save with huge fall discounts and tackle any task with ease. With low prices and great service, come experience the difference at Voss Brothers Power Equipment.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+, subject to program terms at dooutdoors.com and 12/31/24, void or prohibited.
The waterworks techs have heard it all. Screeching furnaces, dripping pipes, strangled garbage disposals, overflowing toilets. Did a spooky surprise catch you off guard? Who are you going to call?
No, not them. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222. We provide better care, better value, better results, and we'll take on any drain or heating and cooling nightmare to come your way. Happy Hello Waterworks.
Welcome, Columbus, to the all-new Toyota Direct. We've expanded our showroom, enhanced our service with 6 lanes, 85 bays, and 65 techs. Enjoy the new lounges with all of the comforts and extras. And now get 0% for up to 72 months on 100% of all new 24 and 25 Toyotas. Come see your all-new Toyota Direct, the area's #1 Toyota dealer.
0% for 72 on a new 24 Tundra with approved credit. Max financed MSRP on vehicle. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock by 10/31/24. See dealer for details.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. We often hear businesses say that they are, quote, family owned and operated, which leads you to think, how often are the owners of the company involved in day-to-day operations? Well, when it comes to Newman Roofing, I can personally tell you that I met with Tim I met with his daughters. They have 4 family members of Newman Roofing overseeing the different divisions of the company, ensuring that an excellent customer service experience is going to be provided to you every time. Folks, I can personally testify they were great with my wife and I, and they will do the same for you. With Newman Roofing, their family focuses on every detail, and it allows them to deliver that white glove experience, not just for me, but for everyone, that you're not going to get with those larger corporations. 32 years in business, 3 generations in the roofing industry. They can do it all, and they will take care of you. So before those winter storms hit, have Newman Roofing come out and take a look. Whether it's a repair or replacement, Newman has you covered. At 614